Hi everyone, have you all been? Sorry I was a few minutes late, but I literally just finished eating, and then I wanted to make myself a green tea, so I thought that would do me good during the stream. And just to be extra sure, I got myself a big old bottle of water as well. Let's show you how big. This is like the proper big bottles type. Which is about as big as my other bottle, the black one that I usually have, which I've got, the black metal one, which I've got off to the side. So, yeah, how's it all been? It's great to see you all as usual. I gave you more of a warning this time for when the stream would happen. So hopefully more of you got notified. I'm going to try to do that more often. Let's see. Griffin, great to see you, buddy. It's been a while. Says, hi, Eric. How's your week been? Joey Nicholas, I haven't seen you in a while either. Yeah, I'm doing very good. You said, how's my week been? It's, this week flew by, funnily enough. I was surprised when we got to Friday. I was like, oh wow, in 2 days I've got a stream to do. So I was actually really quite surprised. Rohan says, hello Eric, nice hair, and I'm good, how about you? Oh, I'm glad you like the hair. I got my beard trimmed recently. The hair, nothing's happened yet. I haven't got that cut. But yeah, so things have been going good. Things have been really nice. I'll say that. I even got my versus video for Batman the Caped Crusader versus Batman the Animated Series. You know, season 1 of the animated series. I actually pretty much have finished it. It's like 99.9% done. So I just uploaded a version of it today, which is just going to be to see if it gets any copyright claims. I need to check to see if it did or not. And then after that, I'm going to give it to everyone who supports me on Patreon and YouTube memberships first, as part of early access. And then I'll put it on YouTube some days later. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening. And I'm going to tell you as well. Oh, Source Fierce, that's really nice. Sarah, great to see you here. And I'm actually glad you actually went back to your old image. Your older profile pic. Because I saw your profile picture earlier today. Just a little bit earlier. It looked like you had changed your thumbnail. I was like, who's that? And I was like, oh yeah, Sarah. So yeah, I'm glad that all of you are here. It's really great to see all of you every single week. Selena says, hi Eric, I'm going on vacation on October 2nd with my family, so I may not join you for 2 streams. That's okay, that's understandable. Just so you know, when I go on vacation with my family, I might have to put a pause on the live streams then if that happens. We haven't decided yet, but we might. Also, I'm going to be going to an Avatar concert in Birmingham, I think January, Avatar The Last Airbender. And what's going to happen when I'm there is I'm going to be there. I can't remember what day it is, but I've got a ticket. I got my ticket on, like, was it April or May? I think it might have been April, so May, or it might have been May. So I have, yeah, basically booked my ticket then. It's going to be for January or February. I need to double check. It's been a while when you order tickets so early in advance. It'll be my first time going to a concert. And I'll be going to listen to the Avatar music. They're doing concerts like around, you know, several countries and things. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. Now, one thing I know I've forgotten is my book that keeps tracks of your donations. And like I said, I'm using new, for those of you that are not aware, I'm using new software right now, which is called Streamlabs. So if you donate through Streamlabs, any of you, you see that I've linked it in the description and I've pinned it on the chats. And if you donate through that, there'll be a fun little effect that will happen on the screen of the live stream whenever you donate. So you might want to do that. That actually is a nicer way of doing you know, donations, because I always say 100% of the donation goes to me, and it's got a really nice nifty effect as well. Oh, thanks very much, Khan. That's really nice. The fact that you're planning that far ahead, that's very nice of you. I appreciate that. Ooh, let's see here. We got Movie Fan 2002. I've not even... Oh, I have got them ready from last week. Oh, great. That's good. Let's see. $2 donation from Movie Fan 2002 says, is it time to talk about the tragic death? Not yet. We've just pretty much started the stream, and I do like to chat with you guys at the beginning. And also, we're going to get a few more people on the stream. And then I'm going to get to the story. That will be just a brief thing, the whole rest in peace thing. because I've not done enough research to actually give a full-on sort of like display of what his work was. But I am aware very much of the impact he's had. He's all had a big impact. I'll talk about it later. I won't say anything of it now. But yeah, what I was saying, yeah, if you do any donations through Streamlabs, like I said, 100% of the donation goes to me, and also you get a nifty animation that happens on screen as well. So you'll actually see, it won't just be all in the chat, you'll actually see like effects and things happen on the actual stream, and your name will pop up for everyone to see. And there is a tip jar, which your profile picture or some tip animation should basically go into the jar. Ooh. Oh, Angry X. I don't know if you're a new viewer or if you've changed your name, but you've brought up a very good question. It says, hello Eric, will you watch/review Transformers 1? I was actually going to review that for you guys this weekend. I was actually going to review it for you as a surprise and not let you know. And I just bought a new little tripod mount. And I was going to be like, you know what? I'm going to put that tripod mount onto my tripod, and I'm going to put my phone into it and record, because like I said, I use my phone now to do my recording whenever you see the game show on my Patreon and, YouTube memberships and stuff. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to... Give me a second, just got a patron. Hang on a second, we'll put your name on here because of that. But let me quickly say, what I was going to say was, I was going to watch and review Transformers 1 for you guys as a surprise, but then I looked at my theatre to say, alright, what time have we got going here? What time will I be going to see the movie? And I had a look, and I was like, that's bizarre. Transformers 1 doesn't seem to be coming out on my cinema this Friday. Then I was like, am I getting it wrong? Is it supposed to come out the next week? But I was like, I'm sure it's supposed to come out this week. And I looked into it. It turns out Transformers 1 is not coming out for the UK until October. So therefore, for those of you in America, you get to watch it now. I don't get to. So that means I can't review it for you guys immediately. And by October, we're all going to be talking about Joker at that point. So yeah, that's a bit of a dud, isn't it, right there? That isn't, because I was actually going to review it for you guys as a surprise, as a quick movie review. Jess, you don't care about Transformers 1. You're always going on about Michael Bay's Transformers. I figured Transformers 1 would be something that you'd be interested in, because it's Transformers related. Same thing going to happen to apply to the Wild Robot. I don't know. We'll have to have a look at the release dates. Saeed says that's stupid. Yeah, it is stupid, because all this time I was under the assumption it would be coming out for all of us in September. Because usually movie release dates in the US and the UK are usually very close together. If anything, now in the UK we get it earlier than America sometimes, or most of the time. So I thought the same thing would happen here, but it turns out it's not. It's coming out for us next month. Joey. You know I don't agree. You do. But yeah. Well, I've got some more of you joining the live stream, which is great. We've got a lot of great stories to talk about today, as well as give you a lot of my input on them. So, yeah. Now, what was it that happened? It was, where have you gone? It was Big Bash. Big Bash, I want to congratulate you. I just read what he said in the chat earlier when I was speaking. Big Bash says, Eric, I applied to community college and I got accepted. Well done, buddy. Like, really well done. Congratulations. I hope you have a fantastic time in college, and I hope it's all great, and I hope you're the most popular kid at the school. Definitely one of the most loved on this channel. Okay, now what was the other thing that I was gonna do? Someone was messaging. Oh yeah, that was it. Someone just joined my Patreon, and you know what that means when someone joins my Patreon. It means, if I can find the text, it means I write your names down. Now, let me find the name of the person who became a patron. He became a top patron as well. The Let's Watch patron. Let's Let's write your name down and have it load up on the screen. Oh, there you go. You can no, I can see it. You guys can't. Okay. There we go. All right. Aslog. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Aslog, not Aslog. Sorry, Aslog. Has become... Oh! Oh, it is Sarah! Oh, Sarah! I'm sorry, he says it was her. Just saw in the chat. Give me a second. Let me do that again. Hold on. Oh, damn it. What's going on? It's not letting me mark it. It just scrolls all the way to the bottom. Sarah. How did I not know? There you go. Sarah. I'm going to put Sarah's name there. Unless you want me to put your whole name there. But we all know you are Sarah, so I wanted to put Sarah down there. There you go. Sarah is a new Patreon member. Thank you very much, Sarah. Really appreciate that. She goes, no, it's fine. That's good. That's good then. So, yeah, as I always say, whenever you become patrons, I always, on the live stream in particular, I always put your names on the new Patreon members, and your name will be cemented in this live stream for forever from this point on. So Sarah's name will always be on this particular live stream. The live stream where we found out who the director was for Spider-Man 4. And the live stream where we talk about the death of Darth Vader and Mufasa. And where we talk about other stories going on too. So yeah, thank you very much, Sarah. I appreciate that. I always say I appreciate any donations you guys do, because it all contributes to helping me make this a career, which is something that I'm always aiming to do. And you guys really do help in a huge way, so I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's see. Rohan says, congrats, Sarah, on becoming a Patreon member. Time Shadow says, oh, why am I not surprised? Time Shadow says, I'm saving all super chats until the end of the stream again. You have been warned. Well, yeah. It's funny because last week you were really hoping that Sarah or Jake would show up to keep me on. But they weren't, so you were all on your own. And you held the fort quite well, you did, all things considered. But yeah. Saeed says they literally copied the MCU humor in Beetlejuice. I actually disagree. I've seen Beetlejuice 2, by the way. I am working on a Versus video for it. Now it's that and Puss in Boots 1 and 2 I'm doing Versus videos for. And I actually thought the comedy was pretty good. There were some jokes that did not hit, of course. But none of them made me cringe. There was some stuff in there that did make me cringe. I think there was a long dance sequence in the final act. That made me cringe at a point. But... ooh, excuse me. But, no, I did not find that to be MCU humor. You all know I'm very sensitive to MCU humor. So when I normally hear a joke that's very MCU-like, I cringe immediately. So the fact that I didn't with Beetlejuice really says something. Sarah says, I missed last stream, so I have more questions I need answering. Oh yeah, by all means, go ahead and ask the questions and I'll answer them. You ask very good questions, Sarah. You do. Oh, we got Movie Fan who's done another super chat. Says, Movie Fan 2002 has asked a very good question. A very personal question and a very good question. Says, what's your career you're aiming towards? The career that I'm aiming towards is that I can just do this, what I'm doing, making content and Patreon content and YouTube membership content, which I also make. My goal is to basically be able to make YouTube content and all this stuff in a way that can just keep me going and make a living, basically. That's my goal. So long as I can do that every single month, I don't even have to be a rich YouTuber. Just so long as I can make a very decent living every single month, that's all I need, and I'll be very happy. I don't mind living a simple life. So for me, I have no issue with that. So yeah, that's ultimately my goal, basically. The Time Shadow says, quick question, is Jenna Ortega's character a moody teenager again? Because she's played that role in almost everything I've seen her in. Thankfully, no. She's moody, but there's a reason for it. And they also call her out, at least very early on in the film. Catherine O'Hara's character calls her out and says, basically, put a cap on it just for now, basically. So yeah, and we have Robin, who for the very first time has donated a super chat. It says here, celebrate the first super chat from Robin, We certainly will. Thank you very much, Robin, for the $5 super chat. And Robin says, what is a movie or show you thought would suck because of the trailer but was surprisingly good? For me, it's DC's Titans. Yeah, I have an answer about that. For me, it was Alita Battle Angel. I saw the trailer for that. I thought it was just going to be absolute pants. I was like, this looks boring. It's robots fighting robots without any blood. It looks very PG-13. I thought it looked very dull. But then I saw the movie and I really enjoyed it. And they also had one-liners in the trailer, like, you've underestimated one thing. And then Alita goes, underestimating who I am, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, this looks like a very generic action movie. It didn't look like there was anything special with it. But then I saw it, I really enjoyed it. And I was annoyed they didn't make a sequel. But that year, or that same month, I think, Captain Marvel made more money over Alita, which was so stupid. Or so disappointing, I should say, not stupid. Well, it was a little stupid. So yeah, that's what I thought. Time Shadow says, okay, good to know. No hate towards Jenna, by the way. She's a great actress. She just often seems to play that specific role. She does, and I'm glad they didn't make her do that. That would not have been a good thing, I think. Alright then. Is everyone ready to get started with the stories? Before we start with the stories, though, let's... where is that gone? There it is. Time to talk about a sad story right now. Alright, so James Earl Jones has sadly passed away. This happened beginning of last week. I think it was a week ago now. It happened on a Sunday, and I was told about it on a Monday. So yeah, James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, the voice of Mufasa, has passed away. And that was sad to hear. I've always said that the actors that have given me the saddest impact when I heard of their passing was two people. It was Robin Williams and it was Kevin Conroy. And now we have James Earl Jones. Now, James Earl Jones was actually in a lot of movies back at the time. He was in Conan the Barbarian, which was Arnold Schwarzenegger's first movie before he actually came into Hollywood. And became the Terminator. So he was in that movie. He played the villain in that movie, James Earl Jones did. He actually, quite a ruthless villain in that film. And he's, of course, played Darth Vader, that we all know and love. He also did the voice... Well, he didn't play Darth Vader, he did the voice for him. Because the voice they had was, I think, a very Scottish voice, and it was not scary or anything. And the other voice that we had him do, that he had, was Mufasa, which was also very impactful. And his voice in Mufasa, I remember thinking when I was a kid... It sounded very fatherly, and it sounded very much like, I thought he sounded so convincing as a father when he was talking to Simba and even telling Simba off, that he reminded me of my own dad, in terms of the fatherliness of his voice, if that makes sense. So yeah, it was really, really good at his job. He was. It's like, I was even surprised when I was a kid. I was like, wow, they've actually got Darth Vader. I thought there was an actual person behind that mask who sounded mechanical. I didn't know that James Earl Jones was the one who just had his voice like that. I was like, that's impressive. So it's very impressive what he was able to do. And he's also worked on stage as well. So he's a very talented actor in many regards. And he will always be remembered. So James Earl Jones is someone that I will forever remember. I know many other people will forever remember. Great talent. And it was very sad that they used him very poorly in the Obi-Wan show, and we're not going to have him and Ewan McGregor ever again do scenes together that are written well, unfortunately. The G-Gamer, I think that was his last show. I can't remember if he was in the Bad Batch. Was it before or after? I can't remember. Or was he in Bad Batch at all? I'm sure he had a moment or two in there. But yeah, it is a shame and it is quite sad. So, yeah. Again, it's like these Star Wars actors are passing away and Disney are just missing their chance with them. We had Leia, who's passed away. We've also got now James Earl Jones, who has passed away. And it's like sooner or later we're going to have Mark Hamill pass away and Harrison Ford pass away. So they're not doing good with their cast of characters, aren't they? So yeah. Is unfortunate. they can do good voice replacement. Some people are saying, can they even replace the voice? They can. It won't be as good, but they can. To me, I think the best replacement voice actor for Darth Vader that they did, the alternative voice for Darth Vader, was in Star Wars The Force Unleashed. In that game, I actually thought they did get James Earl Jones because the voice sounded so good. Even when it didn't sound like him, it was really because of the dialect and the accent that the actor went with, not because the voice didn't sound like him. And I'm surprised they don't use the Force Unleashed voice actor to do Darth Vader's voice more often. Like, there are other projects where James Earl Jones did not voice Darth Vader, and they got some other actor to come and do it. I'm surprised they never went back to the Force Unleashed style, because that was, like, perfect. That was. Fooled me, certainly. Oh, that's interesting. Khan says, funny Eric, I've rewatched the original Star Wars trilogy, and honestly, seeing the ending of Return of the Jedi really hits different nowadays. Rest in peace, James Earl Jones. I know what you mean. I didn't even think of that. Imagine watching Return of the King now, when you watch not Return of the King, Return of the Jedi now, and seeing the scene where he goes, Luke, help me take this mask off. That whole scene. I want to see my son with my own eyes. I want to see my son at least once with my own eyes. Like, that's going to be impactful. Axel, thoughts on the PS5 Pro? I think it's bloody ridiculous. That's all I'll say about it. There's a reason I don't own a PS5 myself. The prices have never gone down. And before they did the PS5 Pro, they also upped the price of the controllers before they released it. So yeah, that's a complete mess right there. But anyway, James Earl Jones, you will be forever missed. Definitely. Alright then. Sarah says she's never watched Star Wars. I wonder what it's going to be like for someone who hasn't watched Star Wars, then does, and knowing that the voice of Darth Vader has passed away. I wonder what that would be like for that person, that viewer. And yeah, Star Wars is also going through another thing, isn't it? They're going through another thing with using the likeness of the actor in Rogue One. Was it Peter Cushing? I think it was. Though there's a lawsuit Disney are going through because they used his likeness. But I'm just surprised it took them this long to do it, because Rogue One came out a long time ago. Alright then, so time to go to the first story. Now, who remembers this? Josh Brolin rumored to have been offered the Hal Jordan role in DCU Lantern series. And that's what we basically heard, and we talked about this last week, and it turns out that yes, it very much was in fact true, because a lot of other more reputable trades started talking about it, and then other people with reputable sources started talking about it. And apparently, even though people wanted him to... not wanted him, but he was basically the top choice that James Gunn wanted, apparently. It's come out that he said no. He actually said that he'll pass on the Green Lantern TV show. And the reason that I think he's passed on this is because he doesn't want to commit to another franchise. Because once he plays Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, I am pretty sure that he is going to say, you know what, James Gunn's gonna say to him, you know what, I want you to be here for this movie, this movie, this movie, and he's like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm fine with the Thanos money I got. I don't need another franchise that badly. So I think he turned it down for that. He doesn't want it for that particular reason. So yeah, it would have been interesting if he actually talked, if there was a... like, if we heard someone in an interview to ask him, so, why did you not play it? And then we'd hear his perspective. Maybe it was just a bad script. And he didn't want... or maybe he didn't want to do a TV show of that Green Lantern. But you know what? I do wonder if Josh Brolin as Green Lantern, as Hal Jordan, will be here for very long. Because they've deliberately made Hal Jordan older. And it makes me think, maybe they didn't want him here for that long. Maybe that's what it is. Sarah says, I really respect when an actor turns down a role. It shows that they don't care. It shows that they don't care about the money. Actually, Sarah, it could mean the opposite. It could mean that they didn't get enough money, and that's why they turned it down. In fact, that's one of the reasons that some actors turned down Reed Richards, because they wanted more money. And another reason they turned that one down, though, is that they didn't like that their character was not the main character, which should spell some concerns, because apparently they want Sue Storm to be, you know, the main character when all four of them should be the main character. And they also want the female Silver Surfer to also be the main character. What go figure. They try to make the female characters the leads again. It's like, just make them all the leads. It's supposed to be like an Incredible situation or a Fantastic Four situation. Make all of them the main characters. But anyway, yeah, he doesn't want to play the role, and I'm not hurt over it, but I do think that they could potentially give worse people the role now that he said no, and I really hope that doesn't happen. Ooh, what's happened here? Patrick Style donated £10. There you go. That's to show you the effect that happens. And also, do you see the tip jar, Patrick? The tip jar also just oh, give me a second. There we go. The tip jar also just got filled up there. So yeah, basically there you go. So for those of you that want to have your name pop up on the screen, Streamlabs is the place to donate. So thank you very much, buddy. I'm gonna write that down. £10. So what was the oh, Patrick Style just said hi. I thought he was gonna ask a question. He just said hi. Well, hi to you, buddy. Thank you very much for the Streamlabs super chat. Like I always say, if ever you guys could do Streamlabs, that is the best way to do donations. So thank you very much. So yeah, moving on to what I was saying. Patrick Style, I got you now, SpongeBob. Oh, Patrick, yeah. Eric, who do you think should play Hal Jordan? I said I want a new person to play Hal Jordan. I don't want a familiar face, I want a new face. Someone who's got the charisma to pull it off. Because I can't really think of any person who we already know who can play the role. So I want someone new, someone who can surprise me. But that being said, if they wanted to have a familiar actor, I actually wouldn't have minded Josh Brolin ultimately. Because then what I would have liked to have seen was a new actor for Jon Stewart. Because I would like a new actor for to play Jon Stewart. Saeed says, how are the comments appearing in Eric's live stream? They're appearing because someone donates using Streamlabs. So if you click on the link in the description, or if you click on the link that I've pinned on the super chat, that I've pinned on the chats, if you donate through that, your name will pop up on the main screen. So that's how to do it, basically. So, yeah. Alright then, so yeah, like I said, Josh Brolin passes on the role. And what do you guys think? Who would you like to play the role of Hal Jordan? Because Ewan McGregor is one of the people on that list, and I do not want Ewan McGregor playing Hal Jordan. I just don't see it. I don't see it in him at all. And I don't see it in Chris Pine either, who they also want. You need an actor that can bring the Hal Jordan out. But actors like Ewan McGregor, Chris Pine, they're going to be bringing out their own. The fact that they're actors, it's gonna, like Ewan McGregor is going to bring out Ewan McGregor. Matthew McConaughey is going to bring out Matthew McConaughey. You're going to see those actors there, and even Josh Brolin would do that, I think, to an extent. If they put him in the beard and everything, I think we could have seen a different version of the character, because we never really saw him as Thanos physically, because they used motion capture for him. So that's why I was like, he's not as bad a choice. But I want an actor that can come and embody Hal Jordan. Not embody the actor they are, but Hal Jordan, the character. MovieFan 2002 has done a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, buddy, again for that. And he says, Eric, did you hear that the Batman Part 2 will be set in winter? I have heard. They've not said specifically, but Matt Reeves did say on his Penguin interview that the Batman Part 1, he said, was based in November, where they had, like, you know, their whole political campaign go on for Bella Royale. So that happened. He goes in, like, November, early November. I think the Batman took place within a week. And then the Penguin show is meant to be taking place over, like, the week after, and takes place over the period of the rest of November. Or the rest of November, early December. And then the Batman Part 2 will continue and pick up from that, which will be Christmas. And when I heard that, I was like, has there been a Batman Christmas movie? Then I was like, oh, wait a minute, there was. It was called Batman Returns. In Batman Returns, Tim Burton went for a more gothic Christmas vibe. Whereas I feel like, aside from that, that was very good in its own way. It definitely was a Tim Burton feel, though. But if you play Batman Arkham Origins, that is a Christmas Batman game, and it's a beautifully constructed Christmas game with a whole Christmas decor and everything. It was really nice to see. So to see another Christmas Batman movie, but not in the gothic Tim Burton-y Nightmare Before Christmas style, that would be actually fun. So I would like to see that. People said the first Batman was very dark looking. The second one could have a lot of white looking stuff in there, and it would be also like dark as well. That would be really interesting to me. So yeah. Oh, look at that. Jake has done a $28 donation. Thank you very much, Jake. Appreciate that, buddy. He says, Green Lantern deserves a good adaptation. Hasn't been represented well. Anyways, random thought I had. I think the fact that Flappy Bird is coming back is disappointing. I heard it's coming back. I was like, wow, that really takes me back to the old days of iPod Touches and iPads and, you know, early iPhones and things. Yeah, that was interesting they're bringing it back. Probably the guy needs more money or something, because the guy that made the app felt very guilty over it for the amount of money he made and how it just, like, you know, took off. By the way, Glenn Powell could be a good Hal, in my opinion. I was thinking of Glenn Powell when I was talking about the Green Lanterns and Hal Jordans, but do you know what? The reason I didn't bring it up is because I've not seen him in anything. I might have seen him in one thing, absent-mindedly, a long time ago, but I've not seen him in anything recently where people have really noticed him. So, I still haven't seen Twisters, for example, so I need to see him in something else and then see what I think, so I can't comment on that yet, but he does have a look to him. So he could. I think he's holding off because he wants a bigger role in a franchise. I don't know if Hal Jordan will be something interesting to him. But anyway, they're going for clearly an older Hal Jordan, so I don't even know if James Gunn would have given it to him, the job. Let's see. Thank you very much, Jake, for the donation. And yeah, Flappy Bird's coming back is interesting. I hope they could bring back a bunch of other games back. Let's see. Kevin has done a $2 donation. Thank you very, very much, Kevin. And he says, how come Courage the Cowardly Dog only spoke in Season 1? You'll find out, Kevin, actually, that he only speaks the most in Season 1. I read an interview about them, and apparently the voice actor said that it was a conscious choice on their part, and it was something that he wanted to do as well, was actually to speak less, I think, as the seasons went on. To the point that in the final season, I think he didn't talk at all. It was just a bunch of, like, you know, jibber-jabber, like, you know, the sound that he makes when he's panicking. But it's a shame, because I liked it when he talked. When he talked, I thought it was funnier, basically. So, yeah. But that's why he didn't speak, because it was a conscious choice on their part. So, yeah. Oh, some people are saying Pedro Pascal, and one of you says, oh, no, please, no more Pedro Pascal. Yeah, no more of him. I don't want to see him in anything else. He's been shooting some stuff. He's shot something with Dakota Johnson recently. He's also done something with he's doing the Fantastic Four, and he's also done another movie. So yeah, no more. I don't want to see him no more. He's too. I'm glad the guy can get work, but I'm seeing him too much times. No problem, Matthew. I always try to answer people's questions. So yeah, Jess says Batflick. It's Jess again saying Hugh Jackman. Chris Pine as Hal Jordan, says Josh. I would prefer not. Robin says, I think Jensen Ackles can be a good choice. Yeah, could be a good choice. The G-Gamer was the one that said Pedro Pascal. Yeah, you say you can't really name much. I would rather not name anyone at all if Pedro Pascal's name came in. I would rather them get a new actor if they got Pedro Pascal. It's like, would you go with Pedro Pascal or a new actor? I would say new actor. So yeah, let's see. Sarah says Jake starting off early. Yeah, he is. Rohan says Jake here. We go again with your super chat. Ooh, yeah. Jake says there was a Christmas Batman film, Merry Little Batman. He goes, yeah, it's real. I know what that is. It was the Batmite looking thing, wasn't it? It's like, I remember I said in one of my live streams at the time, I was like, if you're going to tax write-off anything, David Zaslav, why didn't that get a tax write-off? Ridiculous that you let that stay. Oh, Sarah says, some company stole the Flappy Bird title, gave it a makeover, and is releasing it. Huh, interesting. I wonder if it takes off nowadays like it did back then, because back then, that app went viral. Even IGN reviewed it. It was such a nothing game, too, and it just so basic, and the guy apparently got rich over it, and he delisted it because he felt guilty. Some people said it might also be because there's a potential lawsuit because the background he uses was a Mario background, so I don't know what the real reason was. Jake says that crap drove him insane. Yeah, I played some Flappy Birds. It was addictive, but there were better iPod Touch and stuff like iOS games out at the time. Ooh, Movie Fan 2002. So speaking of IGN, did you see their review for The Penguin? Because they gave it a 5 out of 10. Wow, really? IGN. That is surprising. Let's take a look. What is their IGN's review of The Penguin? The Penguin review. Wow, 5 out of 10. By a guy called Eric. But his name ends with a K, his Eric name. Mine ends with a C. Let's see, what's his little conclusion part of the review? The Penguin is a mess, but sometimes an entertaining mess. Seriously? That would not be good. The verdict is this. It's tempting to pat the Penguin on the back for at least trying something, but that's the type of patronizing gesture that would cause Colin Farrell to sneer through the layers of prosthetics that transform him into Oswald Oz Cobb. A highlight in small doses in The Batman, Oz withers in the spotlight of the Penguin when he's not overshadowed by ally turned enemy turned ally turned enemy again, Sophia Falcone, played to the hilt by Kristen Milioti. I'm sorry if I butchered that. The limited series worships at the altars of The Godfather, Goodfellas, Scarface, The Sopranos, and Breaking Bad, but Sophia's family are no Corleones. Oz is no Tony, and in these 8 episodes, they're not given the time or space to get anywhere close to those crime drama landmarks. The Batman was overstuffed too, but at least it had a solid, straightforward mystery at its core for everything to orbit. The mob drama being built around Oz requires something grander and more operatic to succeed. Unfortunately, the Penguin lacks the chops, the wit, and the wings to reach those heights. I don't know what to really say to that. We can always say the same thing, which is that they gave 10 out of 10 to Last of Us 2, or they gave like an 8 out of 10 to She-Hulk and things like that. So they've given a lot of bad reviews. And was it 5.5 for that Alien game, Isolation? So yeah, they've done a lot of bad reviews. I don't take them seriously ever since they gave Ghost Rider 2 like a 4, was it like a 4.5 out of 5? And that almost made me go see the movie, but I didn't. And then when I watched it at home, I was like, thank God I did not watch that in the cinema, because I would have felt ripped off if I spent money on that. And that made me lose respect for IGN ever since that happened. So yeah, this is the one thing that does look like it could potentially be a problem in the show, is when it says the mob drama being built around Oz requires something grander and more operatic to succeed. That makes me think, are they going to end on a very anticlimactic note? Because you don't expect things to go huge like a big budget movie, but you expect things to end in a big way. You know, but will it end in an anticlimactic way where it'll make you feel like, what, we waited 8 weeks so we can sit and watch just that ending? That's my concern, I think. Hopefully it's good. I really am looking forward to it. The stupid thing, though, is that they're releasing the first episode, I think, in about a week's time, right? In about, was it Wednesday or something? And then they're not going to release the second episode until Sunday, so you got to wait a week and a half to see the second episode. I really hate this whole release strategy of TV shows and episodes. It's like, why do you take so long to release episodes? I mean, streaming has made things move forward in terms of advancing stuff, but to do it, like, say you're gonna wait a week an episode and then a week and a half, even if it's waiting a week and a half just once, it's ridiculous. And then rather than having the third episode come out sooner, it'll be coming out a week for an actual week from Sunday. So they're releasing the episode a few days early, which is bizarre. Who said that? Don't worry, Midnight Dubstep. Whenever you can come down, I appreciate it. So thank you for finding the time to join the stream. But don't worry about it. Saeed says, who is watching Agatha? No one. I think that show wishes that it had, like, you know, the hate mob after it. Because that show has something worse than hate. There's praise, there's hype, there's hate, and then there is something that is just worse, far worse. And that is nothing. When no one is talking about your show, they're not talking about it because they're excited, they're not talking about it because they hate it, you've got nothing. No discourse, no nothing whatsoever. And that's what Agatha seems to have. No one's talking about it. And I felt sorry for the actresses being interviewed, especially the main actress, Catherine Hahn. I feel sorry for her because whenever they ask her, so what is Agatha trying to do? What's her goal in this show? She looks like she doesn't know what to say. But then she ends up saying basically she's looking for power, essentially. She wants her power back, and that's it. So it's like, are we doing 9 episodes? 9 episodes of that? Sounds so boring. It's like they got no ideas as to what is supposed to happen with this show. They've just said, Agatha All Along was a song that was very popular. Make a show called Agatha something, because they kept changing the name. And yeah, people will love it. But it's been too long, and that song has been far gone. And I think people now must realize that Agatha All Along didn't make sense. So yeah, it really is ridiculous. But hey, they made it. That seems to be Disney's thing. Alright, Jess has done a $5 super chat. Thank you, Jess. Says, hey Eric, it's best to give up on wars because it sucks nowadays. How you feel when, yeah, it does, wars do suck, and it's like, if the person wants to hate it, let them hate it. If the person wants to like it, I just say just let them like it at this point. Let them like it or hate it, and I just try to zoom out. The only time I join in is when I feel like there's something to say, or people want to know my opinions on it, then I jump in. But yeah, I kind of get exhausted of the whole thing now, and I feel like the show numbers or movie numbers will speak for itself nowadays. And Jess says, how you feel when Venom 3 dethrones Joker 2? I don't think it will. I still think, I could be wrong, but I still think Joker 2 will do better than Venom 3. But we'll see. At the same time, you've got to keep in mind, Venom 3 is a PG-13 movie, whereas Joker has got more balls attached to it. It's rated R. And it's a musical as well. Tell everyone the memes I send to you, is what Jess also says. Yeah, Jess does send me memes about me liking Transformers more than the Apes movies, which I actually don't. But it seems to be a running gag or meme that Jess is doing. I personally am tired of the gag, personally, to be honest with you. But Jess keeps doing it and sending them to me as well. But yeah, he really wants me to do a versus video with Transformers and one of the Planet of the Apes films. I said to him, all you gotta do is do a commission. Big Bash says it right. It's such a weird comparison. I know it is. But if he wants me to do it, like I always say, any weird comparison, you just got to do a commission, and there you go, it'll be done. And King of the Monsters, you might have just seen right there, just did a £1 super chat on Streamlabs. Thank you very much for that, buddy. And he says, have you heard of these movies? The Apprentice, Am I Racist? The Apprentice is a show, right? I don't know if The Apprentice is a movie, is it? Hey, hang on, is The Apprentice the one where Sebastian Stan is playing Donald Trump and doing the American version of The Apprentice? Because Alan Sugar did The Apprentice in the UK, which is where I think the show originated. Then America, of course, did their version. Let's see, is there a movie of The Apprentice? Is that what it is? Come on. Oh yeah, 2024. Yep. The story of how a young Donald Trump started his real estate business in 1970s, and it's not loading up the rest of the synopsis for some reason. That is bizarre. Give me a second. I don't want the internet to cut out. Is it not? It's not. Stream coming across clear. Give me a sec. I thought I was. Give it a second. There we go. Looks like everything is back in order, I think. You guys let me know if there's any problems, but hopefully it shouldn't. That was probably just a one-time glitch, because the internet slowed down there. So yeah. There you go. I just enabled the thing which basically makes the internet get up here better. So that's what I did. So that's what I just went over there to do. That's good then. It's running better. Alright, let's see. What does one of you say? Side says, I thought Agatha is interesting. Might give it a chance. Yeah, that's fine. You can give it a chance. I don't know if it will maintain your interest, though, because they don't have no stories with these shows. They're just movies padded out to streaming shows due to TV show length. The G Gamer says, I have a lot of versus video commission ideas I would like to do in the future when I have enough money. Yeah, by all means, whenever you're ready, and then, you know, as you can send it through. Midnight Dubstep has done a $1... Is that a super... It's a super chat, isn't it? It's weird how it's gotten... It does normally super chats on my end here look bigger, but this is like just a single strip. Oh, there we go. I can see it on the desktop version. Thank you very much, Midnight Dubstep, for the $1 super chat. Now, let me see. You're right, Sarah. Midnight Dubstep is a fun name. Sarah says, not much. Money is still money. Better than nothing. Who said not much? Did someone in the chat say not much? Because I always say, however much you can donate is always appreciated. Yeah, Khan, we're going to go to the next story in a second. Let me just get it prepared. Okay, Jess, I hear that. Okay, Yo Magic 21 is here. That's great, buddy. Hope you enjoy the story we're about to talk about. But yeah, thank you, Midnight Dubstep, though, as well, for that $1 super chat. For some reason, YouTube, though, that was a weird thing. YouTube, whenever it says this person's done a super chat, it has like a big blue box on my side. That's what I normally see. This time, it's got like just a small strip of a box, which is bizarre. So that confused me. Because, like I said, usually it's like a big box. No matter how much the person donates, it's always like a big blue box, but now it just did a line. It's probably because you didn't write anything in the message. Maybe that's why it is. Okay. Jake says, by the way, might go see a movie tonight. Any ideas? Let me think. We'll move to the next story after I answer this question, guys. Give me a second. Let me see. Isn't Transformers 1 out now in America? If it is, you could go see that. Because I hear that it's actually got more heart to it, or it's got a better story than you might think. That's what I seem to hear. Anyway. Oh, early screenings, is it? Oh, okay. Alright then. You know what? Let's go to the next story. Let's get the story ready. And yes, I am aware I'm doing the stories backwards today. It's just how I've positioned them on the chat, so that's probably the reason, but it's okay. Khan is going to put the time codes on the description, on the comments, so anyone else watching will be able to do that. Anyway, who remembers when we talked about Joker last week? Did you see all this? Yeah, last week we talked about Joker, and we talked about the fact that it got a Rotten Tomato score. It debuted with 59% after the Venice Film Festival. And when I reported on it, the score had gone up to 61. And looking at the score now, you'll see now there's a new score with more reviews going on it. 3 more reviews came up, and the score has gone up from 61 to 62. So yeah, the scores are not going up that much higher. And we've also got Sarah here, who has done a $6 super chat. She says, Jess wanted me to tell you that he mistyped and he meant to say Star Wars suck, not real life wars. Oh, you meant Star Wars sucked. I thought you meant real life, yeah, like real life wars, like in terms of like fans yelling at each other type thing. I thought you meant that kind of wars. Alright, I got you, Jess. That's great. And very nice and kind of you, Sarah, to let me know that with a super chat. So thank you very much. Okay. Let's see. Alright then, so yeah, the score has gone up to 62% for Joker Folie à Deux, or Joker 2. And what's come out now is some interesting articles where they're talking about how the fact that there's no, like, the early ticket sales have gone up and they're not doing well. So people are saying, will this be another bad situation for Joker? Will this be another big flop? Because apparently, some people are actually comparing it to the Marvels and saying, will it do as bad as the Marvels? Let me tell you, nothing can do as bad as the Marvels. I'll be shocked if anything will do as bad as the Marvels. Because the Marvels didn't even make $200 million worldwide. Not even 200. It was like 198 or 199 million, so it didn't even get to the 200 point. That was a disgustingly low figure, but it wasn't surprising to any of us. And the movie cost like 275 million, not including marketing. So it cost a heck of a lot. So King of the Monsters says it was actually 206 million. When I checked, it was like 199 million. It was on the numbers or something. I checked it. Okay, we'll just say 200 million then. We'll just round it to that. So yeah, $200 million, which is nothing for a superhero movie, especially when they put in like way over $250 million into it, and that's not including marketing. So this movie cost a heck of a lot of money, and it lost a ton of money. So I don't think this can do anywhere near as bad as that. I think the name itself of Joker will basically make people want to go see it, and that will do more than 200 million. I'm very positive about that. So yeah, it doesn't sound like the movie is resonating with people, funnily enough. I am still going to watch it and make my own decision, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. But it is a bit concerning. It makes me think that this one's not going to be as good as the first one, which was already a hard thing to do, but I didn't even expect it to be as good. Well, I didn't expect it to be better. I was hoping it would be as good, but it looks like it's not going to be. I'm thinking it might be a decent movie, maybe, but I think it's not. I think it's fair to say now, it's not going to hit the highs of the first film. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it is very interesting that because even the good reviews, if you read in between the lines, they're not really saying good things about it. They're just trying to make it sound like they're saying good things, and I'm assuming that's because they were wined and dined and they were basically given free drinks and meals and stuff, and that's what made them want to be nice about it. But yeah, the movie itself doesn't seem to be winning any awards, although the composer, she won an award for like a great soundtrack or something, so she seems to be doing a very good job again, which is very good. Khan says, you might be surprised with something, Eric. I hope so. I hope this movie does surprise me, and I hope I really do enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it as well, of course. But yeah, that is a bit of a concerning thing. Give me a second. So yeah, that is concerning. With the stuff that I've read and the stuff that you hear, I hear people did not like the way it ended either. But we'll have to see what that means. Yeah, we'll have to see. Yes, Sarah, the reviews do make it look bad, and there's not hype for this movie. Even when the first trailer came out, the hype wasn't there like you'd think it would be for a movie like this. So yeah, I really hope it ends up being I hope it ends up being fun. I hope it ends up feeling different. That's what I hope. But I hear people say that it's not saying anything new. It's saying the same stuff it's always said. That's what I've heard. See, Robin said it. Honestly, she says, honestly, I almost keep forgetting this movie is even coming out. Yeah, you and me both. A lot of people do. Well, not me. I'm always aware that it's coming out, but I just don't think about it. I'm like, it'll come eventually. That's what I always say to myself. And yeah, at some point it will. Looks like it's coming out sooner because we're already halfway through September, and I feel like September just started. It's insane how this time just keeps going by. Midnight Dubstep says, alright buddy, I gotta head off. I just got my homework. I'll see you when I can. No problem, bud. Thanks for joining the stream. It's great to see you again. Take care. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this movie's gonna do good? Do you think that you're still interested in watching it? Would you still want to watch it? Because like I said, for me, I'm not letting the reviews change my thoughts on it. I still do want to see it. But it does feel like the writing is on the wall a little bit. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what the reviewers say, and hopefully it's a good movie still. But the interesting thing is, it's cool that we're getting a Penguin solo story and a Joker solo story, and both are sequels. The Penguin is a sequel to the first the Batman movie, and Joker 2 is a sequel to the first Joker movie. So it's cool to see all of this. Sarah says, I feel like Venom 3 has more hype, even if I think it's going to be bad. Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? That it does feel like there's a bit more talk going on for Venom than there is for Joker. It's interesting. I'm very curious as to why. Fireboy says, nah, I forgot about the movie. Robin says, don't get me wrong, it still looks good. It still looks... Where's your message gone? There. It still looks good, though. I just think it's unnecessary. Yeah, a lot of people, I think, feel that way. Yeah, it's not. G-Gamer says, with anything else coming out this year, I don't think it's going to beat the current highest-grossing movie this year. Yeah, I don't think it will. I don't even think this movie's going to make $1 billion like the first Joker did. I don't think that's going to happen. Khan says, I really, really want to be excited for the movie, but the reviews do worry me a lot, especially the early ones. Yeah, I can see why. Yeah, Sarah, it is a musical. It is a musical, this Joker. A lot of people knew that from the beginning, very early on. They made that kind of like clear. Hey, King Eric, should I make a subreddit for all us fans? Yeah, by all means, go ahead. It's hard to run everything here that I usually am. So when people can like open up those stuff, that is always cool when that happens. So yeah, if you want to make a subreddit, by all means, yeah. And I'll see if I can send it to me when you do, and I'll see if I can visit it. That would actually be interesting. Jake says, Joker the musical has potential, to be fair. Yeah, it definitely does. Definitely has potential. But, yeah, we'll have to see. We have to, ultimately, in the end, there's no way we're actually going to know until we see the movie for ourselves. So, that's what it is. Sarah says, I'd watch it. Yeah, Sarah, you'd watch it, and I would watch it too. So, that I think, we'll see what happens. I'm just wondering, because the only thing I'm thinking about is that the talk around the movie, the hype, is not very strong. And it's interesting that the industry has not done anything to rectify this. Like, to give it to more critics. It's like, are they afraid that the score might go down even lower? Is that what they're afraid of? It makes me curious. Sarah, don't encourage Jess. Because Jess keeps asking me to look at them, and quite frankly, I've humoured him. But I don't find them funny anymore. I'm sorry, Jess, I just don't. When I'm busy doing other things, then you say, Eric, check this. And then you say, Eric, hey, Eric, like, you want me to respond? It's like every single time, my response is going to be the same thing. I don't know what new ways to respond to that same kind of meme. Because the memes always mean the same thing, ultimately. They don't mean anything different. So that's why. I doubt that's the case. I doubt it's a PR stunt, the bad reviews, King of the Monsters. I don't think that's what it is. They would not want that. It would be very bad for them. Matthew Selby says, hey Eric, who do you think will be the villain in Spider-Man 4 and who should play them? I don't know. Rumor I've heard from some people, and I think it was from Grace Randolph on her channel, said that, from her scoopers, that apparently the movie's supposed to take place in between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. So it's supposed to take place in between, so I wonder what that means, what's going to happen. Selena, don't worry, I will be talking about my thoughts on the Spider-Man 4 director. That's going to be the next story. The G-Gamer says, to be fair, Rotten Tomatoes isn't very trustworthy when it comes to movies. Letterboxd and IMDb are more reliable sources. I don't know about Letterboxd, but I agree with you on IMDb. I agree with IMDb more of the times too. So, yeah, we'll see what they say. Because, yeah, Rotten Tomatoes has been off as well with critics before, but who knows? We'll have to watch and see. Okay, then. So, that's enough for talk about Joker, because with Joker, it's largely speculative. We gotta wait and see what the movie will be like when it comes out, is what it is. Don't worry, Time Shadow, that's okay. I've been there before, so don't worry. You're on the stream now, and that's what matters. Okay. Alright. Where is that header? Oh, there. Alright. Let me just rearrange this stuff here. There we go. Yeah. Alright, now, if we move over here, you'll see that this is regarding Spider-Man 4. It's found a new director, Destin Daniel Cretton, to direct Spider-Man 4. Now, who is Destin Daniel Cretton, you're wondering? Well, that is this guy. This guy is Destin Daniel Cretton, and if you look at the picture behind him, you might have a clue as to what he directed in the past. And I've already pointed out, so I might as well just say, yeah, this is the director of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 whatevers. Okay, so you guys have seen my review of Shang-Chi. I reviewed it when it came out. I was really not really into the movie. I thought it had really cool action sequences, the hand-to-hand action sequences, but the CG action sequences I did not like. I thought the movie looked absolutely freaking ugly whenever it was using green screens on things it shouldn't use green screens on. Like a brick, a wall. They used a green screen to green screen the wall. They used fake, like when a girl was supposedly covered in like soot or whatever, like, you know, she did this and it was like fake smoke. It's like they didn't do any good work, I think, on putting that movie together. There were some scenes and some shots where they did do a very good job, but there was a lot of times where they really just didn't. So yeah, I thought it was just a waste. It was a waste of potential. I think this should have been the Marvel movie where they actually they didn't go fantastical. They said, alright, let's make it more grounded. Because in the first half of the movie, when it was being more grounded, I enjoyed it more. I could not stand that annoying sidekick of his. What was her name? I keep forgetting these names lately. What's her name? She always annoys me. Awkwafina. Yeah, Awkwafina, she really annoyed the crap out of me in that movie. And anytime she was in, it was just painful. And yeah, King of the Monsters 2021, her name was Katie. She was so annoying, she was. And it felt like we were forced to listen to her. And she'd had no role to play with him. He was the one doing all the fighting. She just got in trouble and followed him around and was just the annoying sidekick that he would give exposition to. And that's the only reason she was in the movie. Even in the end, the only thing she did was fire one arrow. An arrow that someone else, easily any of those other people, could have fired. And that was it. And then in the end, Wong was like, Shang-Chi and Katie, we need both of you. And I'm like, why do you need her? That was such poor writing, and it just showed that they were trying to just have her be part of the group or whatever, even though she had nothing to do. So I thought she was very bad. So yeah, so I was not a fan of that movie. The action scenes were better than most of the Marvel stuff. I thought that was cool, but ultimately I was very disappointed with the movie itself. And to hear that he's going to be directing Spider-Man, to me that's boring. There could be some good potential with the action sequences, but I didn't like the fantastical action sequences of Shang-Chi. And Spider-Man, you can make him more acrobatic and do basic, like more simple fights, or you can have him do big CGI fights, and I don't think Destin Daniel Cretton is going to bring anything to those fights. I think if anything, it's just going to be very much on par with the previous 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, the action sequences will. I even thought the Russo brothers did a better job with Spider-Man's action sequences. But yeah, I am very disappointed with the director they've got. I think they could have hired a director who, when you hear their name and you hear they're directing Spider-Man, it will be so exciting. But the directors they got, they're not bringing out any excitement, I don't think. So, for me, this is not really a good move. It's kind of the generic move. And it's more of the boring kind of generic move as well. Now, before he got this directing gig, apparently he was originally on board to direct, I think it was Avengers Secret Wars, the 2 Avengers movies, before the Russos came on. But then the Russos came on, now they've got it, and he's agreed to Spider-Man. So that's what they've given him, it seems like. Just as a consolation to say, well, we were going to give you Avengers, but now you're not got Avengers, so we'll give you Spider-Man. There, how's that feel? So yeah, he's seems to be on board with Spider-Man. And like I said, I'm not really interested in what he's going to do. And from what I hear, it is going to be a big movie, so they're not going to do the Peter Parker Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland that we've wanted to see. You know, what they teased at the end of the third one, where it was in the apartment and everything. We're not getting that kind of Spider-Man, it would seem. It seems like they're going to try to make it another big movie somehow. And that's not just a Sony fault problem, it's also an MCU problem. They are also trying to make it a big movie, because they're sandwiching it in between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. So yeah, I am disappointed, I would say, with this choice. Yeah, it's not really for me, this choice, and I'm just disappointed with it. Sarah says, my relationship with Marvel had kind of deteriorated, so I wasn't interested like I was with the other Marvel movies before it. So every bad joke really annoyed, but it was watchable. Yeah, the movies are watchable, but it really is annoying. Because no one likes these jokes anymore, these MCU jokes, yet Marvel seems to be and Kevin Feige seem to be the only ones that do like it, and they're keeping them in. Oh, the Devil's Gamer has come to the chat. Hey buddy, great to see you. Another one said that they just joined as well. Batman's Gamer. Don't worry buddy, you're still here. We've got a whole Q&A session as well, so yeah, don't worry about that. So yeah, what do you guys think then of this choice of Destin Daniel Cretton directing Spider-Man 4? King of the Monsters 2021 says, actually, Marvel wanted to be grounded, and they had a back and forth with Sony about it. Sony won the argument, and they got their big movie. Yeah, but at the same time, you gotta take into account that this movie is being sandwiched in between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. So it's going to be a big movie in between those. It's like it's trying to make itself the Captain Marvel film. Because do you remember when Captain Marvel came out in between Infinity War and Endgame? Looks like that's what they're trying to do, if you ask me. Spider-Man deserves better, says Big Bash. Yeah, I agree. Holy moly, Jake. I did not expect that. For you to do that. Jake has done, everyone, a $140 donation. Look at, again, Jake, everyone in the chat is all going crazy as always. But then again, so did I just there, so who am I wanting to talk? So let's see, what questions have you asked, Jake? Thank you very much, Jake. I always appreciate whenever you do these. So thank you very much. And Jake says, anyways, you know what, I have a theory. Do you know what I have a theory? Aquafina, or however you spell it, is being set up to be the next big thing, and Hollywood will force us to like her anyway. Force her to like her. Anyways, there's a YouTuber, who I'll keep his identity a secret, who actually went too far with his love of trolls. Oh really? I was not aware of that. And yeah, Hollywood always do try to force certain actors on you. They always try to make them a thing. So they tried to make her a thing. They also tried to make Taika Waititi a thing, and now he kind of killed himself because he's did so many stupid jokes. And Thor 4 is the movie that ultimately, I think, broke him. And I would say he bloody well deserved it. I've already talked about some of the things that he said, Taika Waititi, and it was so stupid. So, yeah, that's basically my thoughts on that. Man, Jake, look what you've done. The tip jar just exploded, went all over the place. Because you put some of these big gold coins in there, it just splashed right in. Well done, well done. But yeah, they often try to force actors on you. Remember when Jai Courtney, they were trying to make him a big thing, and he just wasn't working, but they were still forcing him down our throats. It's just a thing that they do. It really is annoying. But yeah, thank you very much for the donation, Jake. And yeah, I do agree with you about Aquafina. It's not just a theory. You are right. They want to make her a thing, even though she's not funny. And the troll who went too far with his love of trolls, the YouTuber you mentioned, interesting. I was not aware of that. Thor 4 is a dumpster fire, says Saeed. Yes, it definitely is. Jake says, I'll tell you about the trolls thing, either during question time or another live stream. Yeah, no problem. Well, it looks like you got some people intrigued, Jake. 2000s Marvel is peak Marvel. Well, it was peak crap Marvel as well. You got to keep that in mind. Because remember, that's where you had the Daredevil movie and stuff, and in 2000s we also had Blade Trinity as well, and we had the Jennifer Garner movie, what was it, Elektra. So yeah, some bad movies have come out then as well, bad Marvel movies, and some bad DC ones like Catwoman. What's going on in the chat? Sarah, Rohan, they're saying I am Steve. Robin is at it as well. Am I missing a joke here? What's going on with Steve here, everyone? I am Steve. It's from Minecraft. Oh, okay. Lol, look at all of you. Gregory is here as well. Haven't seen you in a hot minute, buddy. Oh, they're trying to say Steve Harrington. No, that's Time Shadow guessing, I think. JWK says, I don't know. Yeah, you, me, both, buddy. No, Thunderlord, I'm not named after South Park. My channel was originally when I called it eCartman12 when I was a kid. Yeah, Jake. Sorry, Time Shadow, I think you do. Who knows? Just in this particular case, I think. Alright, then. So, what does everyone think of this? Do you wish... No more talking about Steve. What do you think of Destin Daniel Cretton to direct Spider-Man 4? Are you fine with him as a director, or do you wish they would have gotten more people to direct? Someone else to direct this movie? What do you think? Sonic says it's another L for the MCU. Sarah says no. Robin says, Eric, what joke was worse, beef or vegetarian, or the anti-gravity gun from Homecoming? Beef or vegetarian, but the anti-gravity gun was really pathetic as well. Time Shadow says that I'm looking forward to this. I really like Shang-Chi, to be fair. At least fight scenes will be better for Spider-Man with him on board. The close-up hand-to-hand ones will, but the CGI ones, I don't think they will be, personally. Khan says, I don't really care for Spider-Man 4 in the MCU. Jess says, no, I wanted Sam Raimi to direct this. Yeah, there was a lot of rumors going on that Sam Raimi was being considered to direct Spider-Man 4. And there was all this talk of saying, wow, Sam Raimi actually didn't get to direct his Spider-Man 4, but imagine if he directs this Spider-Man 4. But yeah, that's not how it's happening. Where was the other question? I actually thought that was fascinating. Where has it gone? What has happened? I can't scroll through the chat. Let's see, where's that question gone? One of you said it didn't pop up on screen. Yeah, that's because Jake didn't donate with Streamlabs. If he donates on Streamlabs, then it will pop up on screen. Okay, where did it go? That comment I wanted to read. There it is. Charlton says, I'm fine with him as a director, long as Sony doesn't intervene. You don't know Sony very well, do you? They will intervene. That's just, they can't help themselves. Where is another one? Another question that someone was asking, or that mentioned, I wanted to find it. Sarah says, I do not like to hold people accountable for their other bad movies, but such an important movie should not be given to him, I think. Maybe I'm being too harsh, though. I don't know. No, you're not being harsh. That's a fair assessment. Big movie means that you need to have done a good job before. And he's only really made, I think, just Shang-Chi, as far as a big movie goes. And I think, yeah, he could have done something bigger, I think. Okay, take care, Saeed. It was great to have you down here. We'll miss having you on here, buddy. Let's see here. He's not going to make it any better with what Sony wants. Oh, this is a $5 donation from the Devil's Gamer, by the way. Let me write that down. He says, he's not going to make it any better with what Sony wants Spider-Man 4 to be. Venom 3 villain Null will be in the movie. Venom 3 is not. In fact, I heard that Marvel apparently can't use villains that Sony put in standalone movies. So that's apparently the legal matter, apparently. So yeah, they can't do that. So they'll try, but it's not something they can do. Okay. Alright, so yeah, it seems like Saeed says, looks like they might F up Spider-Man 4. Sarah says, oh. I don't know what she's saying in response to. Did I miss something? Or was it something I said? Oh, Sonic says, I got my tickets for Joker 2. So yeah, there's some people that are pre-ordering their tickets. Here's the thing, though, about Joker 2's underperforming tickets. Let's quickly mention this. Joker 2's underperforming tickets, you gotta keep in mind, a lot of people, they don't buy their tickets on day one. They buy their tickets when the movie comes out at the stand. That's what I've done most of the time as well. The only time I ever pre-order tickets is when, or pre-book tickets, is when I think that's going to be jam-packed and I want to get a good seat. Otherwise, yeah, I don't book my tickets, and I always just get them on the day. I did the same with Deadpool and Wolverine. I just got my ticket on the day, so I didn't pre-order those tickets. So yeah, those are just some extra thoughts on that Joker situation. So yeah, you guys all seem to be pretty much have given your opinions on that matter. Alright then, so it's time for the Q&A. And Sarah, you've still got your name there, like I said. Big Bash says Venom is a bitch in the Sony movies. He sure is. He really is. I don't know who Matthew McFadden is, Spirit Hero. Jake says, I might have to go soon, so I'll tell you about the Trolls fan. The DreamWorks animated movie is his favourite franchise, which is fine regardless of what you think of the series, but he... I'll have to see what the rest of Jake's question is. Fireboy says, I hate how Sony really don't care about Spider-Man. Yeah, they don't seem to learn from their lessons, do they? Sonic says, Captain Eric, is it normal that I watch Deadpool and Wolverine theaters 4 times? Yeah, it is. I mean, I wouldn't go to a cinema to see a movie 4 times. The most I've gone is 3 times. And that's usually with other people. But, yeah, no, it's perfectly fine. And Gregory, no, I've not seen Better Call Saul. I did actually think to myself at the time, I was like, when the whole season comes out, I'll watch it then. But then either life got in the way, or there was other things I was watching that it never happened, and now there are so many seasons, and I don't feel like catching up. Jake says, basically, about the Trolls thing, basically harasses anyone who gives those movies a bad review. He's straight up said he thinks they should go to hell and calls them all the worst YouTuber. He also has Trolls merch all over his room. That guy sounds like he's unwell. If that's what he does by yelling at other people and calling them these things and all that, and you, like you said, basically harasses anyone or those people, that's not a good thing. That's very bad. Take care, Fireboy. Thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate it, buddy. It'd be funny if he's the only one that made the Trolls merchandise, made all the money for the Trolls merchandise, if it's all in his room. Yeah. Does anyone know who that person is that Jake brought up? Sarah says Trolls is a fever dream. I've not seen the Trolls movies. Devil's Gamer hates them, though. Sarah says Trolls is best movie franchise. Wow, Big Bash says, Eric, I have 3 math classes in one day. That's going to be a big undertaking, bud. Hope, so long as you just compartmentalize and be like, alright, let's get this one done, then this one done, and you organize it, it'll all be fine. It'll all be fine, but it will be tricky. Second, I'm just uploading this this test version of Batman the Caped Crusader versus Batman the Animated Series, just to check if there's any claims that come on it. Let's see. Oh, Jake has given more information. It says, let's see. Let's see. Jake says, however, where he finally went too far is when he straight up said he wants his former friend to get shot for not liking Band Together. It got him banned. He will be on YouTube no more. Also, oh wow, he got banned from YouTube for that. Well, deservedly. That's crazy. Also, where's the... Jake says, also, he straight up kisses his Poppy plushie on screen a few times. I wonder if did anything worse. Yeah, that does sound like someone like that sounds like they probably would do something worse to that. Spirit Hero says he's absolutely demented. Yeah, it sounds it. It's insane. Eric, are you excited for the new Avatar series? There's not a new Avatar series. It's gonna be a new movie, isn't it? The new movie, yeah, it's gonna be a new movie, which yes, I am looking forward to when that comes out. Elite's 5th. It says here this is Elite's 5th super chat on a live stream. Thank you very much, Elite. He's done a $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that, Elite. I really do appreciate it. It says, do you think that a crossover with Marvel DC Sonic characters could work? Marvel DC, yes. Sonic characters, no. I think that's pushing it too far into absurdity. I don't know how they can make Sonic work in all that. Oh, there's a new Avatar series in development, Jason King. I never heard about that. I just heard the new movies that they're doing. If so, that's interesting. I hope it'll be good if they do it. Jake says, I don't know if I should say who it is, as not to cause more drama, but it's a story worth sharing, I guess. Yeah, it is an interesting story. I'll probably look into it at some other point. Just want to know what the reaction was from maybe other YouTubers who talk about him. Khan says, hey Eric, how finished are you on Batman the Animated Series versus the Caped Crusader? And your Puss in Boots versus video, worst movie you ever seen in your entire life? For me, I think I said that was Cars, because it was just my personal experience of it when I saw it in the cinema as a kid. But yes, I am 99% done with the Batman Animated Series versus the Caped Crusader. The first people that are going to be able to see it are patrons who have and YouTube members who are getting access to my early access versus videos. They will see it first, and then afterwards I'll put it up on YouTube for everyone else to see. So yeah, it's being done very soon now. And the video is about 30 minutes, so it's a long one. But I will say, I really enjoyed it, because when I played the video back for myself, when I was rewatching it to check if everything was all, sorted properly, and all the editing was up and everything was right, I'm able to sit through that video very easily. I really do enjoy watching that video of mine. So yeah, I think you guys will really enjoy it. I'm actually really happy and proud of it. And Sarah, because you're a Patreon member now, you'll also gain early access to that Versus video. So you're going to be one of them to also get, you know, that as an update. So, yep. Jake says, by the way, I have to go now. See you later. No problem. Thank you very much, Jake, for the donations. I really do appreciate it. I feel like the person that's afraid with that happening is probably the Time Shadow. Oh, Yo Magic says, Eric Carter, the subreddit is finished. Can you show the first post I made to everybody, please? I need a link, but yeah, sure. I didn't know that you were already doing it. That was fast, that was. My Little Pony versus Rocky, says Big Bash. That's funny. I'm glad you enjoy perks, Sarah, because that's just one of the perks you'll get. JWK says, what are your thoughts on the villains of Toy Story 5 being 50 Buzz Lightyear action figures? By the way, I am not joking. What? Are they actually doing action figures as the villains in Toy Story 5? Where did you get that? Has that been leaked or something? I mean, it could be interesting, I suppose. But didn't we get another Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story 2? So to do that again, but this time with 50 of them? That's a bizarre thing, that is. Wow. Sonic says, Captain Eric, that was in D23, lol. I didn't remember seeing that part. If that was there, how did I miss that? That's not something I would normally miss. G-Gamer says, yeah, they apparently said, they said, heart, they're malfunctioned evil Buzz Lightyears. Why would they spoil something like that? I'm actually kind of surprised. How come that was not a bigger story? Like, people are talking about Toy Story 5 and the toys, like, you know, how the story of that movie is that kids are on their tablets and stuff. But they weren't talking about anything, in, at least when I saw people on the internet and everything, they weren't talking about evil Buzz Lightyears. Wow, how did I miss that? Because I swear I watched all that, unless I got distracted at that moment. Man. That is insane, if that is what they've done. Whoa. Oh, look at that. Sarah. Oh, Sarah, you've actually done it on Streamlabs. There you go. You just saw that little effect right there. Thank you very much, Sarah, for the £8.44 super chat. And that's a $2 super chat as well. Sorry, Streamlabs chat, Sarah. Thank you for that. The Devil's Gamer has also done well. I'll quickly read the Devil's Gamer very quickly. He says, I read Toy Story 5 is of the toys versus electronics. That's what I've gathered with that picture when I talked about it on my live stream that time. I kind of gathered that. Sarah says, what villain has the best backstory and or motivation in your opinion? And do you have a villain that you think could have had a better backstory or better motivation? That is a very good question, Sarah. Let me think about that. For me, I think the best motivation was Joker in The Dark Knight. Because it almost seems like to him, like he always talks about everything as chaos and he always talks about the order of things. It seems like to him, he kind of feels like he was born to cause all this destruction and everything. Like he was just something that we don't know his backstory, but he kind of just came out of nowhere and caused all this pain and damage and heartache and everything. And it feels almost like he thinks that he was born to do that. And I like that they didn't give him a backstory. Anytime they tried to, you didn't know if it was true or not. So this was like the Todd Phillips Joker movie before the Todd Phillips Joker movie. And it was in a Batman movie. So I like that. And I even like Two-Face, Harvey Dent Two-Face in that. Because we saw his backstory. He was like the White Knight of Gotham. He was so good. But then we saw him go from the White Knight to a villain that was gonna off Gordon's kid. So that was insane how they managed to actually tell that story in such a convincing way. And he had a great design, you know, with half his face burnt off. It was phenomenal. It really was amazing. So I think the Joker is like that's why I said he's one of my favorite villains. But also, a villain with the best backstory, I would also say is Darth Vader in Star Wars, Anakin. If you look at the prequels, people will probably say, oh, the prequels, like, it wasn't convincing how he turned evil. But if you watch the Clone Wars show, it fills in a lot of gaps and makes you understand why Anakin turned. So I think Darth Vader or Anakin is also another great villain. And in answer to your other part of your question, which is, and do you have a villain that you think could have had a better backstory or better motivation? Yeah, I think Wanda. In WandaVision, and in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, they made her fully evil. I think they should have made that whole show, WandaVision, basically her descent into madness. But instead, it's like they got cold feet and said, we can't have Wanda be bad. So they tried to make her good at the end and have her fight Agatha, just so it seems like she's not so bad anymore because she fights another villain. That was cheap to me. And by doing that, it's like they realized, crap, she's supposed to be evil for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, so what do? Oh, I know, let's put a mid-credit scene at the end of WandaVision and have her read from an evil book. There you go, she's evil now, done. I thought if you had a 9-episode TV show, that should have been the show that would show us how Wanda goes from good to evil. But they didn't do that, and it was a wasted opportunity. And I didn't buy her turn in the show, which is so wrong, because how is it that Christopher Nolan had so much stuff going on in The Dark Knight, and yet somehow he was able to put an origin story of Two-Face in there as well. And he made that work, how a hero turns bad. So when Marvel have a 9-episode TV series and a 2-hour movie, how is it that Marvel are not able to do the same thing and do it convincingly? Meanwhile, Nolan just had a 2.5-hour movie, including credits, and he had a main villain in there with Joker, and he had the mob, he had Bruce Wayne in there, he had the stuff with Rachel in there, so much stuff, and he also managed to throw in a Two-Face origin story in there. It was insane how talented he was and how he was able to do that. And the fact they didn't try, that Marvel didn't try to do something to that level, I think is just gross. I genuinely do think that. It's like such a waste of time that was. King of the Monsters has donated £1 on Streamlabs. Thank you very much for that, buddy. I'm glad you liked my answer, Sarah, because you are so right, Eric, in capitals. If people could just say that to me every day, that I swear that will... There is no way that can have negative effects on my ego. So yeah, maybe doing it once in a while is nice. Not every time, because it probably would. Nah, for me it wouldn't. It would just be nice to hear. King of the Monsters 21 says, how's it going with your Versus videos and that Godzilla movie I sent? Is progress steady? Also, have you watched any Korean movies? If so, which ones? Yeah, I watched a Korean movie. Was it Korean? Parasite. That Parasite movie, was that a Korean movie? I'm sure I've seen a couple other Korean movies as well, but they're not coming to me right now. But they are different language, foreign types. How's it going with my Versus videos? My Versus video right now is going very well. I've already said it's the Batman Cape Crusader versus Batman animated series. That's 99% done. I haven't started yet with the Godzilla movies because I'm going to do that once I'm going to do that soon, basically. That video is supposed to come out in November, so I've got time. In the meantime, I need to finish off the Versus video I've got with Batman. Then I've got to finish off the Versus video I've got with Puss in Boots, and then Beetlejuice 1 and 2. So those are on my to-do list next. But don't worry, I am going to be doing the Godzilla video that you commissioned. So don't worry, that's fresh on my mind. I'm still doing that for certain. But the Versus videos and all that are going very well, buddy. Let's see. Oh, Robin has done a $2 super chat. And says, what do you think makes a perfect horror movie? Great story, great characters, very effective horror or tension. And that's essentially what makes a great horror movie. You've got to do great with all those three elements, and then it's great. Problem with a lot of horror movies is they don't do good with the horror, and they don't do good with the characters, and the story is very half-assed. Or it has a good idea, but they don't take full advantage of it, so that point is hardly there. And then what are you left with when you get only half a point, when that's all you have? You're not really left with much after that, isn't it? So that's why horror movies can go from being like, you know, a full 3 out of 3 to just like half, or maybe even lower if they do worse. So yeah, that's what I think, Robin, in that regard. And thank you for the super chat there. What court case is going on in the chat here? Like, Jess is guilty. Guilty of what? Jess seems to be the one on trial here. Hopefully this is a friendly trial. Devil's Gamer says the trial of Jess. Oh, for the memes you sent me. Well, aren't I the victim in this? Shouldn't I also have a little go in this little trial here? Khan says Captain Eric should be the judge. Not when the judge is the victim. That means I've got to be the defendant. I've got to be the what do they call it? They call it the defendant and the plaintiff. I should be the plaintiff in this situation. I would be a very biased judge, Sarah. Save it for the judge, Jess. Jess says, Eric, I'm not guilty. Tell it to the judge. The G-Gamer says, are there any franchises that your siblings got you into? Like, they watched it, and then you got into the series or franchise? Yeah, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. My sister watched that when we were younger. I thought it looked like kiddie baby stuff. But then it got really funny the more I watched it, and I really liked it. One of my favorite shows. Yo Magic says, hey Eric, I got the link. Great. I just need to try posting it somewhere. Okay. I think someone sent me something. What was it? Parker, let me see your Spider-Man comment. Yeah, I just wish Deadpool killed the MCU in Deadpool 3. I wish he would have done something, but the movie had to stand on its own, essentially. The Big Bash comeback, I want a more crazy versus video idea, says the G-Gamer. I don't mean to disrupt this little court case going on, everyone, but do you have any other questions for the captain? Spirit Hero says, Eric, to follow up on my Hal Jordan comment, Matthew McFadden played Paradox in Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, him play Hal Jordan? He's not a bad choice. I feel like he could play something, but probably not Hal Jordan. I don't know. I think it might be a bit too distracting. I don't know. Time Shadow says, I've got some questions for later. Mwahahaha. Oh, hey, Sarah. She's done a $5.99 super chat. That's a $6 super chat, basically. Whoops, I've messed that one up. Let's write it again. $6 super chat. And she says, what series or movie trilogy do you think has been milked, exploited the most? There's so many of them. Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween. I feel like the MCU is a franchise or a movie that has been exploited. Which one do I think? If I had to name one that I personally think has just been exploited. Time Shadow said it. Terminator in particular, because they just keep remaking the same damn movie and then get annoyed and surprised that people don't like it. They keep remaking Terminator 2 all the time. So yeah, that one. That's the one where I'd say that it's overstayed its welcome, and they've just... The last one performed so badly, we've not heard anything else about another Terminator film. Steins Gate then, Spirit Hero. Let me take a look at that. Seems to be a video game as well. It's binge-watchable according to yourself. After discovering time travel, a university student and his colleagues must use their knowledge of it to stop an evil organization and their diabolical plans. That sounds so basic, but you know with anime it's not going to be basic. Yeah, so long as there's a dub version, an English dub, I'll consider giving this a watch. Looks quite interesting. Okay, I'll probably give that a watch. I'll add it to my watch list on IMDb. Where is it? Watch list. There we go. It's in my watch list. Okay. So, what's been going on in the chat since I was looking over there? Parker says, Eric, I hope Spider-Man 4 rumor of being a multiverse movie and having Venom and Null doesn't end up happening and is not true. Is that the rumor that's going around? I've not heard of that one. Okay then, that's interesting. Oh, Sarah has come again, as she's done a $12 super chat. She says, how do you feel about movies that try to force in a political message, especially when there's no need for it? Well, if there's no need for it, then there's no need for it, and it becomes pretentious, and it feels more like the style in which these people put those messages in, it not only feels out of place, but it also feels like they just took their social media posts and wrote it into the script of a big budget movie, which is just unprofessional in the way, you know, because it's not being written for a movie, it's just being written as an extension of their social media posts, and that's not what people pay to see in theaters. So I would say, you guys know how I feel about that. I don't like it. It does not make for good storytelling. So that's what I think about that. Have you been sending the link in chat, Yo Magic? Because I didn't see it. It probably doesn't allow links to be sent. Send it to me on Streamlabs if you can. Donate. I think you have to donate $1 to do it, probably. If you don't mind doing that, then do that. That way I always have links and I can always take a look. That's usually the best way. I'm always sent links, but if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. We'll find another way. Jason King, I've heard of it. Have you watched The Dragon Prince? It's co-created by the head writer of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've heard of it. I've not seen it. Sarah, if you want to do another donation, try it again through, like I said, Streamlabs. That way it'll be seen on the screen. Oh, she just did. She was doing it on Super Chat. Alright then, that's probably, I'm assuming that's your choice in how you do it. You are aware, then that's good. Let's see, and I get to see it easier on my my feed using the Streamlabs live streaming software, so it's always cooler. Sarah has tipped, man, she really is going after Jake's spot. £22 and 86 pence. And like I said Sarah, I really appreciate the Streamlabs super chats because, sorry, the Streamlabs donations, because that way 100% of your donation goes to me, whereas YouTube like to take a hefty percentage sometimes, especially from the big donations. So this is always the best way to do it. They can't skimp or cheat this way. Let's see. Sarah, I think you've already asked me this question. What series or movie trilogy do you think has been milked/exploited the most? And I said it was Terminator. And Sarah's done another one, a $2.49 one. $2.49. And she says, Eric, Venom 3 final trailer. Yes, I haven't reacted to it on my Patreon yet because I got busy yesterday. We had some family visiting, so I wasn't able to do a reaction. But yeah, I will be doing a trailer reaction to that on my Patreon. And you're a member of Patreon now, so you'll be able to see it. So yeah, that's where you'll see my trailer reaction to it, and I'll talk about it. It's a bit late to do it now. It's like 12:40 in the morning. So I'll try to do it at a different time. Hopefully tomorrow I'll try to give it a go. Elite says, I'm going to go. Take care, Eric. No problem, buddy. I really appreciate you dropping by. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you on the stream again, as always. All right. Sarah's ass. I sent the wrong question. Ah, how embarrassing. No, it's not embarrassing. It's okay. Big Bass says, do Streamlabs chats take money directly from your account when you donate? I don't know, because I've not donated through Streamlabs before. I think go over there and check if you do, but Streamlabs is a very legit place. That's where all live streamers tend to use. That's how people always normally see, you know, their donation pop up on the screen, because they tend to use those. Let's see. Oh, Devil's Gamer says no, Big Bash. Oh, so Devil's Gamer seems to know that. Movie Fan 2002 says, Eric, regardless of what you may think of Beetlejuice 2, Michael Keaton was still a blast in the role, unlike other legacy sequels. I thought he was. He was an absolutely fantastic in that role. Like, you couldn't even tell the difference between his performance in the first movie and this one. He was so in it. He really was. I'll say this right now, he was the best part of that second movie. Spirit Hero says, Eric, guess what? In my film class, there is a guy named Rian Johnson. I am not making this up. Oh, yeah. I wonder if he likes The Last Jedi, if he was into that, or if he's like, now my name Rian Johnson, everyone thinks one thing. I wonder if that's a thing. Sarah has donated £15.24. And she says, have you ever watched a movie that made you fully cry? I hate movies that guilt trip you, and I've only ever shed tears when watching a sad movie. But a movie that made me genuinely bawl my eyes out was Edward Scissorhands. I know, very weird. I just could... Huh, the message cut off there. Let's read it on the website. Oh, that's where it ends. Where you say, I just could. Do you mean you just couldn't control yourself, or you just couldn't stop, or something? Anyway, I get what you mean with your question, either way. Edward Scissorhands is a good one, but that's not one that I cried at. I found it tragically beautiful, the ending, so I didn't cry at that one. In terms of crying at an ending, I cried when Logan died in Logan. I couldn't, like, my eyes were just going like crazy when that death scene happened, and... what happened, the thing is, I cried the first time I saw it, then my brother wanted to see the movie, so I went and watched it with him, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be prepared for it now, I won't cry, and I cried the second time too, So for me, it was Logan. That movie gets me. Even now, if I watch it and get to that bit, it's gonna make me cry as well. That is one of the saddest deaths. That was super super sad. So yeah, I would say Logan's death scene in terms of what gets me emotional. In terms of another thing that got me emotional, like the first time I cried hard when watching something was the final episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! When the Pharaoh leaves. It's like I couldn't help it. It's like every time I watched it, I was always crying when the characters were crying and the music that played and the Pharaoh was leaving. And oh man, that was so sad. I remember watching that. That got me really upset when I was younger. I was a kid at the time. So yeah, that is the one that I would say, Sarah. It was so sad. That really was. That really was. So yeah. Oh boy. It looks like Jess says he impersonated last time Michael Bay. Now he's impersonating Matt Reeves. Sarah says, "What's the worst guilt trip movie ever?" And she's done another super chat. Sarah's done $2.49. What's the worst guilt trip movie ever? That's okay, Sarah, then. That's alright. Do they get you to keep doing it? I thought they'd get you to do it once, and then that's it. That's interesting that they get you to do it all the time. Do they want you to make an account there or something? Is that what it is? That's bizarre. I was never aware of that. Well, thank you for doing it every time you did. I wasn't aware that's what you were doing. I thought literally you just click the link and do it. That's okay. Let's see. Oh, what's the worst guilt trip movie ever? I don't know. I don't know guilt trip is ever the word for me when it comes to movies like that. But a movie that tries to guilt trip me. What do you mean by guilt trip, Sarah? Do you mean when a movie tries to manipulate you into like having an emotion? Because there are some movies that I'm like, yeah, that is manipulative. You know what? A movie that tries to guilt trip you a lot, I think I'll say, it's not a movie, but it's a show that I've watched. The show that tries to guilt trip you. Sarah, there you go. Sarah's beautifully made that clear. Just make you feel bad without putting effort into it. The Acolyte. I watched The Acolyte recently, and yeah, that show constantly tries to make you feel bad for these characters. But I'm like, all you had to do was just explain what is going on, and it would make sense. Also, another character was acting all evil. There's an episode where turns into a monster and like disintegrates the little girl, and then the Jedi soul, he kills her because she's about to kill the other girl, and then after he kills her, she's like, "I was going to let her go with you," and then she dies. Like the show tries to make you feel bad for her. And it tries to make Saul feel like, look what you've done. And it's like, no, what he did was understandable. It's just bad writing then trying to say, oh no, I wasn't going to do anything. So I'd say that was one of the worst examples, Sarah. Like, it was really bad what they did there. Horrible, horrible writing. And I got a $5 super chat from MovieFan2002 who says, Eric, a movie that has me crying by the end is Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Yeah, that was also a very sad one as well. More specifically, when Frodo says goodbye to Sam at the harbour. Yeah, he says goodbye to all of them, but yeah, I remember when Sam was crying, that was sad. Especially because Gandalf says goodbye to them first, and he goes here at the end, you know. Goes, well, my hobbits, and all that. And then it gets worse when Frodo's about to leave. Yeah, I remember that, bud. That was very sad. That was so sad. Time Shadow says, I watched Return of the King the first time today, actually. Seriously. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. How was it, then? And thanks again, Movie Fan 2002 for the super chat. I appreciate it. Time Shadow says, Stranger Things always makes me cry. I know I say Stranger Things for everything, but it genuinely does. That's understandable. Raymond says, Eric, I'm going to take off. I'm looking forward to your new Versus videos. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for joining. I didn't even know you were in the stream. Were you commenting? Because I must have missed it. Gary Loke says, have you heard of rumours of Brie Larson going to play Raven in the Knights of the Old Republic movie? I hope that's not true. Yeah, I've heard rumours, but they're not even started with that Knights of the Old Republic. There's just some crazy people saying they want to make it. By crazy people, I'm talking about the Acolyte creator, Leslie Headland, who says that wants to make that. And it's like, yeah, you stay well away from that. Robin says, have you ever watched Jeepers Creepers? I personally don't feel comfortable watching it, mainly because of the director. What's the story with the director? I've never heard of that. Yes, I have seen the movie, though. Yeah, I didn't like where it ended. I felt like it just abruptly ended. I thought the movie was going to keep going, but it just stopped. The G-Gamer says, for voice acting, how can you tell that a performer is not giving their fullest compared to ones that do? Like, example, your Chicken Run and Inside Out Versus videos. You just listen to their voice. You can tell when it sounds like a real person who's really emoting this stuff for real. And you can tell when they're not, it doesn't sound real. When it doesn't sound real, you can just tell they're reading from something, or they're not putting their all into it. They're acting, they're trying to put the emotions on, but they're just not physically in the emotional space where that sound will come. It's like when someone's pretending to act tired versus someone who actually is tired. When someone is tired, you hear the wheezing, you can just, all these little minute details that make it sound real are present, and you can tell. But then there are other voices where they just, I did that thing, and then, you know, it can be like, okay, are they really? Because it's not consistent, the tone of that, with people that actually do sound tired, if you know what I mean. Some people can fake it so well you can't even tell. But then other people, it's like, no, you're not putting your all into it. Or even if you are putting your all into it, it's not coming across. Oh. Sarah was very polite. Mr. Eric, sir, I sent you more money, she said. I'm sorry, I was answering that question, so probably that's why I missed it. I'm sorry, Sarah. I see it right here. And she's done it through Streamlabs as well. Man, thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate that. She's done £38.10. Sarah, that is a lot of donations you have given. Thank you very much. I've not taken a proper pause to thank you, but I really do appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. And the fact that you're doing it as well through Streamlabs really helps, because YouTube actually took a bigger chunk last time of the donations that you and Jake were doing. So it really means a lot that when you do put in the work and the extra time to basically do it on Streamlabs, because this way they can't take anything, whereas last time they did take more than they were supposed to. So that's why I always say as well, your donations are the most secure here. And like I said, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it, Sarah. So with that said, let's read your question. What do you say? How do you feel about movies that are based on a true story? And what's your favourite based on a true story movie? Mine is Catch Me If You Can or The Terminal. Ooh, was The Terminal based on a true story? I never knew that. That's actually very interesting. But that's also a very good question, Sarah. Let me think. So, based on a true story, so that means whether they're really based on true stories or whether they're loosely based. My favourite movie based on a true story. I love Catch Me If You Can and The Terminal. But I'd say if I had to say my favourite, it would probably be Titanic. I really enjoyed Titanic. I watched it when I was older, like 11 or 12. I didn't know that Titanic has a thing where a lot of guys really hate it. So I just watched it as any movie personally. So I wasn't aware of all that kind of like thing, that hatred for it. So for me, watching it as an old movie, I thought it was really funny. It was a really great film, and it was very emotional too. I watched it in the cinema with my brother. I think I told a story to you guys in the early live streams about what happened when we saw it. But yeah, me and my brother went to go watch it in the cinema. I had not seen it since I was about like 11 or 12 or something, and my younger brother had not seen it at all. So that was his first time. It was a fun thing to re-watch. It really was. Oh, Sarah, man really did spend like 17 years living in an airport. Wow. Because Tom Hanks's character did not spend 17 years living in that airport. He spent how long? He spent less, I think, but yeah. Kevin has donated $2 and he says, a very good question. He says, did you like it when Deadpool made fun of Will Smith? Yes, I did. That made me laugh. I thought that was really good. Did you say, well, was it? I forgot what it was. Did you say, take my sword out your fucking mouth? Is that what he said? That was so funny, that was. Man, this intense court case is still going on in the chat. I didn't even realize. Oh, hi, Jess. Yup. Oh, Jess says, hi, guys, I'm back. You were always back, bud. You were playing Matt Reeves there, just like last time you were playing Michael Bay. Oh. Sonic says, no, I think Deadpool said, keep Canada out of your fucking mouth and my sword, or something like that. Yeah, I forgot how it went exactly, but yeah, okay. Did my Streamlabs not go through? Oh, there it is. It just popped in right now. I'm using the app here, so that's why. Let me write that down, bud. £1 donation. King of the Monster says, when you take notes on who donated to you, what do you do with them? You probably just did it. Also, have you seen the 2012 film Lincoln? I've not seen Lincoln, although I did watch Abraham Lincoln and Vampires or something. What was it called? Abraham Lincoln the Vampire Slayer? Something like that? I did watch that. I didn't see Lincoln, though, no. But I did see a little bit of the opening. I think I streamed just the first couple of minutes or something. The guy that was impersonating him looked like he did a really good job. Let's see. King of the Monster says, so when you take notes on who donated to you, what do you do with them? I just like to keep it as a record just to see how much people donated on said stream. It's kind of like me writing a book of memories in a way. Also, it's a way of me calculating it, because that way YouTube can't take more from me, and if they do, I can tell you guys as well. So yeah, basically I just like to document it, then tally it all up and add it up. Also, it's fun because I realized recently some of you guys, I was like saying, have asked like who donated the most, and then I'm like, see, it's a good thing I've written it down. So I go through my pages and I find it. So when Sarah was new to the streams, she was asking like, how was the... I think it was Sarah who asked like, how much did he do, or how much is the most he did or something? And I says, I don't know, let me take a look at my book, and I went through it and I saw all of that. So yeah, 45.72. Sarah is really outdoing herself. She just donated £45.72. That is insane, Sarah. She goes, best feel-good movie, no drama, no deep messages, just innocent fun. A feel-good movie that had no drama or just innocent fun. Or messages. Feel good. Let me think. What movie do I see that makes me feel good every time I see it? Oh, Matilda is one. I grew up watching that. Movies like that make me feel so happy when I put them on. I just feel so good. The Iron Giant makes me feel really good. Also watching... Let me think of my childhood movies that I used to watch. Basically, any of the good old Disney movies, whether it's The Lion King, The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, any of those early ones, they make me feel good. Let's see, what else? What's another good feel-good movie? Any of my classic like TV show specials, like when we watched like the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends special, or the Powerpuff Girls Christmas special, Foster's Halloween special they had as well, but they also had a Christmas special which was really good. And I remember there was the Blackadder Christmas special, which is also very feel-good. Blackadder is a very funny show. Mr. Bean movie, that is a really good feel-good movie for me. The first movie that came out, because I loved that as a kid, had a fantastic soundtrack. Like, it's surprising how amazing that soundtrack was for that movie. Like, when he's fixing the Whistler's Mother painting. They made fixing a painting epic, with some high stakes with that security guard trying to get to the bathroom as well. Oh, man. Oh, that was a very good question, Sarah. It really took me back to my childhood. It was such a phenomenal... Those are my real feel-good movies, Sarah. I think I have more, but they're not coming to my mind right now. But anything from like 1995 upwards, you know, that were like the kids for family movies for the time, those are the really good feel-good ones. Even Mrs. Doubtfire, which has got a lot of drama in it, it was a very good feel-good movie as well. Home Alone, how could I forget? That was another feel-good movie. Again, got some sad drama and stuff in there, but the message at the end is just so nice. Simple but nice. And the beautiful music in there as well. So yeah. That was a fun question, Sarah. That was me really be able to go back to my childhood and stuff. So thank you. That was a wonderful, wonderful question. Oh, another feel-good movie is You Again. I just thought of one. It's it came out I think in the early 2010s. It's a Disney movie, but that was actually a fun one. So I'd recommend watching You Again if you haven't. It's a good family movie to watch. And Kevin has done, speaking of Home Alone, Kevin here has done another $2 super chat. Let's write that down, as you all know. I never knew me writing down the super chats would actually become like a talking point, but it actually has a couple times, which I'm kind of surprised by. Yo Magic, I'm sorry if I did not see it. But if the link was in the chat, I would have seen it. For some reason, it's not. Let me take a look. Can I monitor? Let me answer this question, then I'll see if I can do something about that. Hang on. How come Jar Jar didn't get killed off in episode 3? They just tried to minimize Jar Jar, didn't they? I don't know what happened to Jar Jar in between all of that. I actually don't know. Let's see. Is there a way to check the live chat stuff? Can never hate you, Jess, for doing what you've done. Just ease up. That's all. Like, you know, you'll get your questions answered, and if you don't, there's usually a very good explanation for it. I'm busy. You've seen all the commissions I've got to do, and I've also got family stuff to do as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. That's why I probably don't answer your questions all immediately when you're giving another meme about, you know, Planet of the Apes versus Michael Bay's Transformers, you know. Now let's see. Sarah's asked another question, and she's given a $6 super chat. Man, Sarah. I hope you're doing okay. Remember, you don't have to donate more that you don't want to, but like I always said, I've actually, the thing more I think about it, even I used to say that, what I'm saying to you right now is what I used to say to Jake, so you really are like another version of Jake at this point. Sarah says, hey Eric, how do you feel about personal questions? I was unsure once if to ask a person, Let me read that again. Hang on. I was unsure once if a question was... Oh, I was unsure once if a question was too personal, so I'm just making sure. You can always ask me, but just don't expect a response every time, if you know what I mean. Because it really does come down to what the question is. So you can ask, but it also depends. So, yeah, King of the Monsters, that was one heck of a typo you just did right there. Talking of personal questions. Man, there's a whole court case going on here. Just wait until I tell my family what you guys are doing in the chat. Occasionally I'll say if anything interesting has happened. When I tell them tomorrow, or today, because 105, that... that essentially everyone was doing a court case in the chat, they will find that amusing. Robin says, would you be interested if Universal were to attempt another dark universe, but they put a heavy emphasis on horror? Yeah, that would be the better way to do it. But still, don't start with a universe. Just make one good movie first and then continue it from there as they go. But you don't have to announce a universe every time. Gary Loke says, have you played the two Force Unleashed games? Yes, I have. I've played the PSP version, the DS version of the first Force Unleashed, and I've played the PC version of the Force Unleashed 2. And I've also played, as well as the PSP version and the DS version of the Force Unleashed 1, I've also played the PC version of it, so the console versions of it, essentially. Any other questions you guys have? MoveFan 2002 says, Eric, what character that wasn't meant to be scary you thought was scary to the point you had nightmares? Mine is Judy from Avatar The Last Airbender. I don't think I've had any of those, you know. I remember when I was a very little kid, this is when I was like 3 or 4, I actually remember this one nightmare I had, which came out of nowhere. I was actually not... I actually was not scared of this character, but for some reason I got a nightmare about it. Do you remember Noddy? The old, I think it was animated preschool character? I don't know why, but I remember I got a nightmare where I was on the roof and I was on the hood of their car, and they were trying to push me off the roof. And one of the ways to do it before they were going to do it was tickling me under my chin. And then for some reason I remember my mum in the dream saying to my younger sister they want Eric to push him. I was like, no, I don't. And this was in the garden outside our house. I don't even know where this dream came from. I don't even know how... Yeah, the elf guy thing, Robin. I'm not even scared of that character. I was never scared of that character. But for some reason, I had a nightmare about it. I have no idea why. And I remember that scared the crap out of me. And I could never see Noddy the same way again after that. So that was... Even now, thinking back, I'm like, man, that is demented. Like, where the hell did that come from? Dreams, you just can't explain them sometimes. No, movie fan, I've not seen Field of Dreams, but... I've heard of it. Let's see. There's another question we got here from King of the Monsters 2021, who's donated £1. Let me write that down, as always. And he says, Speaking of personal questions, will we ever get a family reveal? I was curious ever since you brought up your younger brother in some of your videos. No, the family reveal will never happen because I choose to do this and put myself on screen for everyone to see, but my family are different. They are not YouTubers like I am. So that's not really something they're interested in. That being said, even though it's something that they're not interested in, it's something that I do on my own, so I don't mind putting myself out there. But I did ask my younger brother once if he wanted to do a Let's Watch with me for Patreon, and we can, like, discuss a movie or something. And he was open to it, my younger brother. But he thought I was talking about just his voice. When I says, no, we can be on camera on this webcam, he was like, no, like, he didn't want that. So that was something he actually didn't want. He was, So yeah, basically, it was an idea that I entertained at the beginning, because I was like, what happens if I can have more than one person to bounce opinions off of? But I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's busy now doing what he's doing. This is the thing I'm doing, so I kind of just keep it like that. So no, I don't think we're going to get a family reveal. But who knows? You never know what could happen. Okay, let's do this again over here. Okay, so I've got a $6 question here from Sarah, it seems. She says, how do you feel about less unknown actors being in movies and instead celebrities taking over movies? If they're well cast, I don't mind. But if they're not well cast and they just cast them just for the name, then I don't like it. Like Robert Downey Jr., for example, we all know he was just cast for his name and because it's Robert Downey Jr., that's why they made him play Doom. We all know that. That was a panic move, sort of like casting choice that they did there. And it was really ridiculous. So that's my thoughts on it. I'm trying to think of any other examples. But then there are good examples of them casting more known characters. Like, for example, I thought Will Smith as Deadshot was a very good choice to cast him. Even though it was a race-bent choice, I was like, that's actually an interesting choice to do. But it didn't end up, it just didn't end up working in the end. Classic Brickman changed his profile to Matt Reeves. That doesn't sound like something he would do. Doesn't sound like something that Jess would do, but Kevin has done another $2 super chat. Thank you, Kevin. And he's asking, someone spoiled Joker 2 and he got in trouble with Warner Brothers. Oh, really? Someone actually spoiled it. King of the Monsters, gender bending does not work because it changes the character too much. Men and women are very different. That's why you write characters for men and women, because it plays to their strengths or plays to their differences. But once you take a character that's a man, change it to a woman, you've just changed way too much. And I would say the same if it was the other way around. If a female character was gender bent to a man, it would be the same complaint. But the thing is, Hollywood has never gender bent a female character to a male. They've only gender bent male characters to female. So it's clearly a biased move they're doing, and it's something they're only doing just so they can say, look what we're doing. Because somehow, in society, it seems like it's a very progressive thing to do, to gender bend a male character to a female character. I just see it as lazy. That's my personal thoughts on the matter. Okay, I think I'm going to end this stream in 10 minutes. So that'll be a 2.5 hour stream then. So yeah, if you want to get your questions in, now's the time to do it. No Joker 2 spoilers. They're out there, but no one talk about Joker 2 spoilers. Gender bending is annoying, classic Brickman. I like what Khan says. Until Time Shadow shows up and makes it even longer. Yeah, well, let's see how I do. If I'm able to keep it at 10. Robin says, hot take, Joker should have just had one movie. It's not a hot take, that's actually a good take. I would say, yeah, one movie. I only thought, let's do a second movie if they've got some good idea to move forward, but if it's going to be the same thing, I don't know if that really is a good idea, but we'll have to see. I mean, I was all for it when it was announced and everything, and they were going to do a Joker 2. I was like, cool, let's see what they do, so I really hope it's worth it. Sorry, I just got eczema on my palms over here, and they're just itching for some reason. Sometimes they just flare up on their own. Jason King says, do you think Cora is a Mary Sue? No, nothing like it. She gets her ass kicked all the time, so no, she's not a Mary Sue. Khan says, what was your reaction when Joker 2 was going to be a musical or have some elements of a musical number? I'm not into musicals, but I did think that, well, they're doing something different, and I can really appreciate that. That's what I liked about Joker's Elseworld movie. It was able to go in these different places, and I'm like, yeah, sure, if you want to do that, let's see what you can do with it. Isha, I'm going to do the Venom The Last Dance trailer reaction tomorrow, hopefully. That being said, I already have done a trailer reaction to the first trailer, I think, last time. And was there a second trailer? I can't remember. Sarah's done another super chat. She says, what's your guilty pleasure movie? One you enjoyed, even though it's not highly regarded. I really like X-Men 3, and I also like Spider-Man 3 in its own way. So those are two movies that I actually really enjoy. X-Men 3, I look at it, I'm like, it's better than a lot of the other crappy Marvel movies that are being made these days, like the MCU movies, and people are like, that was okay. Oh, but like for example, people will say, Eternals, that was okay, or Shang-Chi, that was okay. Or Thor Love and Thunder, that was okay. But X-Men 3, no, that was the worst. And I'm like, how could you even say that when one is clearly so much worse than the other one? It's like, it's not even a competition. X-Men 3 has got far higher in quality than some of those ones that I mentioned. But they say, no, it's terrible, it's worse. Spider-Man 3 also worst. I'm like, no it ain't compared to those other ones. So why are you so lenient to those but not lenient to the others? It just doesn't make sense to me. King of the Monsters 2021 has asked, alright, it's that time of the day. Which of Christopher Nolan's movies has the best visual effects? And here's a challenging one. Which has the worst? Also, none of them are bad at all. And he's given me a link. Links on Streamlabs? I don't know. Let's give it a go. Let's see how I do. Because I was fast on my recent software. But to do it on this newer software, I don't know how I'm going to do, bud. So let's see how I do. Okay, let's see how I do here. Give me a second. S43 right there. Back. Images from viewers. Here we go. Is it gonna come in? No, it doesn't let me drag and drop it in, which is infinitely annoying. So I've got to go the long way and add the picture in. Okay, here we go. Again, you might not see me for a bit. I'm just gonna let the picture go big. Alright then, so which of the movies has the best visual effects and the worst? Nolan's movies all have great visual effects. But if I had to say which one probably had the worst, because he shoots them very well when he shoots them. Maybe the Prestige? Because the Prestige doesn't have too many visual effects, but maybe that could be considered not great with the visual effects. Inception has great effects, but there are certain effects that don't look as good, so maybe that as well. His movies are just too good, so I can't really say which one's got the worst effects. I don't know, they've got so much passion in all of them, I don't really know which one's got the worst one, because they're all just very good. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Prestige. Had some good visual effects in there, like great visual effects, but if I had to knock one off, I would probably say that, but so let's see. Let's get this image off the screen and then show you guys my face again. Alright, let's go check on the other super chats. We got Devil's Gamer, who's done a $5 super chat. And he says, Jenna Ortega spoke of gender bending characters and she doesn't approve of it. She said it in an interview. Yeah, I heard that interview. She's talking about James Bond. So yeah, she's doing a very good job of saying what we all think. So that's good. So yeah, I fully approve of that, what she said. And then we've got another $6 super chat here from Sarah, who says, what's a movie that made you think deeply or change your perspective on something? Let me think. What movie made you think deeply or change your perspective on something? I don't think any movie has changed my perspective on something, because my own viewpoint, I don't try to derive it from movies. Movies can shine a light on something or make you think of something from a different angle, but it's never straight up changed my perspective. But what movie made me think deeply? I'd say it was The Dark Knight. That made me think deeply in terms of like the system, society, the whole thing Joker said to Harvey when he goes, if I said that a gangbanger is going to get shot or a truckload of soldiers will be blown up, and then he goes, nobody panics because it's all part of the plan. But when I say one little old mayor is going to die, then everyone loses their minds. That was a very fun like thing that he said. It's like there was truth in it, but he was also trying to warp Harvey's mind. So I would say that was a really cool thing to talk about that made me think deeply of something. And also just the commentary in that movie in general about, some men just like to watch the world burn and all that. Really made me think a lot. So I would say that one is what I would say. But yeah, great question, Sarah. That was a really good question. Oh, take care, Robin. Thank you for joining the stream. You've been here for a long time, so I appreciate that. I'm going to end the stream in a bit as well. Unless the Time Shadow jumps in. He just says, here, nearly at 10 minutes, my time to shine. So it looks like he's going to try to keep me on for a bit longer. The Dark Lord says, the only gender bend I liked was in Flashpoint Paradox with the Joker, because it was a completely different character. Yes, but you also didn't really get to see that character, so that was another thing. If you saw it, who knows, maybe it would have been too much. But that was an alternate universe as well, yeah. Okay, looks like now it's time to end the stream, so... Yeah, Devil's Gamer, don't talk like you're one of them. You're not. Yep, that was also great. So many great quotes in The Dark Knight. Even if you'd like to be, yep. Sarah has done a $6. I was expecting Time Shadow to jump in there. I didn't think Sarah would do it again. She says, do you prefer movies with happy endings or ambiguous ones? Most of the time happy endings, but at the same time, it's not just happy endings because you don't want it to be predictable, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, that's another one. Give me a second. Let me just write this down. £5, and then I got 6 here. Yeah. So yeah, it depends. You want a variety of endings, but if I had to pick, then yes, the happy ending is the one I prefer. But I like it when there's a happy ending, but things have kind of gotten messed up at the same time. Those are my endings that I like a lot. So yeah, that's what I think, Sarah. I like it when they're mixed up, but if I had to lean on it, I'd say happier endings. And then the Time Shadow has done a £5 super chat, says, is there anything you like about Stranger Things 4? And then in brackets says, sorry I haven't emailed yet, by the way, I just haven't had time. See, now you know why I wasn't emailing you those previous times when I said I was busy, so trust me, bud, I totally understand. So yeah, yes, there was stuff I liked about Stranger Things 4. The effects were great. I really liked the villain. When they went into his backstory, I didn't mind his backstory, but I did mind that they were trying to say, oh yeah, before Stranger Things Season 1, 11 went through all this. I didn't quite buy it. They were trying to connect it, and the final piece they connected it with, that I sort of buyed, but you could tell a lot of it was retconned. It was like stuff that they didn't think of at the time, but they tried to fit it in and think of it after the fact. So that's one that I would say right there. So yeah, that villain was really good, I'd say. So I like the villain. If there's is there anything you say? Is there anything you like? I liked that. I like the villain. I love his voice. He was like a Freddy Krueger style villain. That was a lot of fun, I thought. Okay, so let's see if there are any chats elsewhere. Oh, there we go. Super chat. Sorry, Streamlabs chat. Got a Streamlabs chat from King of the Monsters 2021 who says, by the way, you didn't say which one was Nolan's best. Anyhow, which one has his best effects? I would say his best effect was in... I'm going to say The Dark Knight, because that Two-Face effect to this day is freaking amazing. Especially in terms of, like, when you watch it in 4K, I thought it would get worse. The effect actually got better. And flipping the truck, the solar thing, sonar thing that happened, you know, with that view he had, was a great visual. I just loved all the effects in The Dark Knight. So The Dark Knight, I'd say, has the best effects of his movies. So what's this you said? Anyhow, these are the 4 other films that lost to Godzilla -1 for best VFX. Who do you think deserves second place? The Creator for looking phenomenal for $80 million. That's what it is for you. You know what? I'll have a look at the images, but I'm not going to put them on the stream because I have an answer. Because I had an answer when I was watching. I was like, you know what? If Godzilla does not win, then it should be this other movie, is what I said. So, let's see. You know what? Because you've done I just realized, because you've done a super chat or a Streamlabs chat, I'll show it just for the sake of showing it, even though I have my answer. Let's just bring it in. But yeah, trust me, bud, I know which one is my answer already. But I'll bring it in for you. Here we go. Alright, so that's... Let me align this in the center. So that's Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Mission Impossible... It's not aligning. There we go. Alright, so that's Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Mission Impossible 8... It was 8, wasn't it? 6, 7? No, Mission Impossible 7. The Creator. And that final one was... What was the name of it again? The Joaquin Phoenix movie Ridley Scott directed? Oh, Napoleon, that was it. That final one is Napoleon. And of them, the one with the better effects, I would say, is the same one. The same one that King of the Monsters chose. It's the creator. What they managed to do with the effects budget they had for $80 million was amazing. They did a really good thing. So, I would say that one. So, let's see. Now we got more super chats. Hold on. Sarah has done one for $6. Let me write it down. $6 super chat says, which movie character do you think deserved a spin-off or standalone film? Which movie character do I think deserved a spin-off or a standalone film? Well, a spin-off or standalone film that I want to see from a character was in John Wick Chapter 4. Give me a quick second. Let me find the character's name. Donnie Yen played Kane. That was it. Kane from John Wick Chapter 4. I wanted him to have a sequel. A spin-off. Sorry, not a sequel. A spin-off. That served as a sequel to John Wick 4. But, unfortunately... They made that other spin-off instead, which is going to have... Oh, give me a second. Let me get rid of this image. They're doing the other spin-off instead... that has that other actress in it. What was her name? She was in Knives Out. Ana de Armas, that was it. She's in it. And it's like, why are you making a completely different character spin-off when you got one perfectly set up in John Wick 4? I feel like that was a wasted opportunity. So I would say that, Sarah. I would have liked to have seen him get a spin-off. Rohan says, see my question. Well, so what was his question? What is your favourite movie besides The Dark Knight and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes? I'd probably say 12 Angry Men. That's a great movie. Wow, Sarah, you really have outdone yourself here. She's done a $12 super chat. And she says, what genre usually delivers the worst movies in your opinion? And is there a genre that you generally don't watch? A genre that delivers the worst movies? I would say horror, because there are a lot of scraping the bottom of the barrel horror movies out there. So I'd say horror movies tend to... And they always like to screw it up at the very end with those silly twist horror movie endings. So I'd say a lot of horror movies are bad. I would also say... as well as the horror movies. In terms of what you said, is there a genre that you generally don't watch? I don't watch comedies. Comedies or rom-coms. I like to watch older comedies because I feel like a lot of newer, like, adult comedies are usually just dirty. They've just got gross-out humor. Back in the day, gross-out humor was usually accompanied with some kind of joke. It's like the gross-out was there, but it was usually done to do some kind of joke, whereas now I feel like they've taken the joke out of it, and the gross-out humor is just there to gross you out. That's it. Like someone drops their pants or shows their balls or whatever. It's like literally just the sake of it being gross for the sake of being gross. There's no joke attached to it. And I feel like comedies, I stopped watching them like since 2010 onwards. If you go back to movies like Dodgeball, that was great. Zoolander, that was great. There were really good comedies, but I just feel like comedies have lost it now. They're not as funny as they used to be. So, yeah, I would say I don't watch comedies anymore, or rom-coms. Rom-coms I don't watch at all. The only time I'll watch a rom-com is if it's the handful of old ones that I've seen, like Titanic or something, which is not a rom-com technically, but a romantic movie. And the only other time I'll watch ones like that is if it's attached to another movie. So say, like the Conjuring films are meant to be like love stories in their own way, specifically the second one, I think even the third one, but mainly the second. They're love stories, but they're attached to a horror movie. I can watch and enjoy those, but I can't watch and enjoy a rom-com on its own or a romantic movie on its own. That's not something for me, really. So that's the type of genre I just don't watch, I would say. So yeah, let's see here. Looks like I got another £1 donation from King of the Monsters, who wants me to show something else. Give me a second. Alright. He goes, alright now, how about for 2022 films? For this, Avatar 2 won Best VFX, for obvious reasons, lol. Now, who deserves second place? Let's take a look then, bud. Let's download those photos of yours and take a look. Okay, here we are. Let's download this. I think I might already have my answer. Looking at them. Okay, let's import it. Alright, so what's the movie on the top left? I can't remember. But the movie in second here is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Third movie is The Batman, and fourth is Top Gun: Maverick. Now, if I have to choose, I would obviously go for The Batman in terms of best VFX. Although Batman should have had best cinematography, it just didn't though, because Hollywood just ignored it. But yeah, I would say, what was the first one called? Just so I know before I give my final input, because I don't know if I've seen that movie or what it is. Man, my computer is slowing down right now. All Quiet on the Western Front, that was it. Yeah, I would still say The Batman. I'm sure Quiet on the Western Front has some great visuals in it, but I would still say The Batman. I'm sorry, I'm biased and all, but I loved the visuals in Batman, and I've not seen All Quiet on the Western Front, so I can't fully comment on that. So that's the one that I would say. And goodbye to the ones that said they were going. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining the stream as long as you did. Okay. So there's my answers to that. The Logman says, did you know Godzilla -1 won Best Visual Effects? Yes, I do. And it deserves it. Because such a low budget and what it managed to do was unbelievable. Put Hollywood to shame, especially the Marvels that came out with its hundreds of millions and the effects look so crap. Unbelievable. Oh wow, All Quiet on the Western Front was done with a $25 million budget. Yeah, I'm sorry. I still gotta go with my Batman visuals. Because it looked great how they did the... Like, even this shot right here is a visual effects shot. It's using the volume of what we see of Batman there. The shot that I just showed you with the image that was there. So, yeah. Okay, we're gonna end the stream in about 2 minutes, because then it'll be 1:40 in the morning. Yeah, it did, King of the Monsters 2021. He goes, the Batman used the volume text so seamlessly. It really did. Time Shadow says, Eric, we'll end the stream in minutes. Me, oh no you won't. Well, it looks like we're going to end it in 1 minute now. You don't think your donation went through, King of the Monsters? Oh no, that's an old message. That's an old message. Oh, King of the Monsters 2021 has donated again. Okay, let's write that down. Okay, so that's a £1 super chat. So let's go and do my thing. Seriously, my computer is slowing down. I don't know if I got too many tabs open or what, but it's slowing down. Okay. Let's download this and then I'll read your message, buddy, so it's in sync. Looking at some of these. Don't like the look of them. These visual effects based stuff. Where is... Oh, my computer is slowing down like crazy right now. I don't know why. There. Right here. Okay. It's time to load them up. Oh, we got a subscriber. Fabianosaurus Fernandez just subscribed to the channel. I don't know if that person is on the stream, but cool. Okay, let's import that image then, King of the Monsters. And then I'll read your message and see what you said. Okay, here's the image. There we go, it's on. Okay, so let's read your question. Last one. This time it's 2021 films. Dune won this year, and it'll be difficult picking second place. Not because all of them were great options, but because all the options sucked that year. You are damn well right, buddy. You really are. Free Guy looked good, but it was within the video game world that it was in, so the effects were able to look as they did. I'm just going to say right now, not Shang-Chi, not Spider-Man. I can't even remember this James Bond's movie's effects. It was called Spectre, wasn't it? No, it was called No Time to Die. Was it No Time to Die? It just shows you how little I cared about this final film. Let's see. No Time to Die, that's what it was. Jess, what comments were you saying? I did respond to some. It's not like I was ignoring any of them. I just didn't see. Let's see. The Batman puts Morbius to shame for being safe and less bloody. Well, it puts it to shame in every regard, bud. Put some of your questions in, bud, and I'll read a couple of them. But just don't keep sending me memes and things. When you do that, it's easier to go past that and look for the people that are asking questions. Rather than when you're impersonating Matt Reeves. That's not a joke I can sustain for long, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, no, let me put that back. Okay, bud, so let's see. Of the ones I would choose, you know what? I'm not happy with any of them. But if I had to choose one, I'd probably say Free Guy. Because the effects in that were supposed to look fake. So I'd say Free Guy. That kind of it lent to the story of it in a way. So that's my choice. I'm not completely happy with that choice, but it is my choice. So yeah, bud, Free Guy. Jess, what did you say? Trolls Band Together fan 2001. Hate No Time to Die. He was cheer for James Bond death, which was heartless. It just sounds like a contrarian to me. Someone that just likes to agree with the exact opposite of what everyone else agrees with. That's what it seems. Alright then, I think this is about it. I'm going to give it one more minute, so it's 1:45, and then that is it. So, It was an absolute blast doing the stream with you guys. The amount of donations that came in was amazing, so thank you. And the amount of you that actually were donating through Streamlabs, you too, Sarah, especially, I really appreciate it. I appreciate it from you, appreciate it from King of the Monsters 2021. Thank you very much for donating through Streamlabs. That really was, really was big, and hopefully you enjoyed the animations on screen when your names were on Streamlabs. I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, did Sarah leave? I didn't even realize. Let's see what's happening. I'm just reading some of these earlier questions here, just because I missed them as I was doing all the work on the others. Oh, the Time Shadow has done a £2 super chat. Let's take a look. Where is it? There you go, £2. And says, hottest MCU take? For me, Thor 1 and then Thor Ragnarok. I actually agree with you on that. But the hot MCU take, you know a lot of my takes are hot MCU takes. I've never liked the jokes in there, even in the earlier movies when they went very MCU jokey. I never liked that, and a lot of people did, so I'd say that's a hot take. Another hot take is I did not like Spider-Man Homecoming. Another hot take is I wasn't really a fan of Thor Ragnarok. So there are a lot of hot takes that I have with the MCU, and you've all of you lot have heard them, I think, throughout the years. You did very good in the stream, bud, but just less trolling, more asking questions. Then we can have a chat. But when you keep messing around, it makes it harder for me to, like, you know, read all your messages. Because I used to read all your messages when you used to ask them. But lately you've been messing around a lot, where it's like, okay, I acknowledge it the first time, like with the Matt Reeves thing, but then you keep it going and it doesn't stop. And then it's like, at that point I do just avoid the questions. I see them, I glance at them, but I don't read them out loud. So try to change the ratio in which you're joking versus you asking actual questions, and then I'll read yours a lot more. But this stream I did feel like I had to like skim them because there was a lot of playing around in there. So I'd say try to, you know, go back to doing what you used to do, which was like, you know, making legit questions. Trolls Band Together Fan. Is that what he was called? Trolls Band Together Fan 2001. Let's quickly take a look. Yeah, it looks like a troll. If that was an image of him that I saw, he looked quite aggressive in that picture. Khan says, you're not leaving the stream until you're 90, Eric. Until you're 90. I think... Eric, stay a little. I have one more left in me. I know, but it's 1:48 a.m. It's almost 2 a.m. And a lot of people have left the stream now, because I think it is, you know, right towards the end. So yeah, alright then. Alright, that's it then. Thank you very much, everyone, for your constant support. Yeah, Jess, 8:48 p.m. in your place. For me, it's not that. It's 1:48 a.m. right now. So 5-hour time difference we have. Dark Lord is getting late. Yeah, if the stream goes on too long, I'll have to go. Don't worry, bud. I'm going to end it now. It was a fantastic time chatting to all of you, as always. I really enjoy. Time Shadow has popped in. a film you used to hate but eventually came to love, says the Time Shadow. Let's see. He's done a £2 super chat there. I don't know if I've loved a movie. Let me see. I don't know if I hated a movie then loved it. There's movies that I thought were okay or I thought was good, but that was it, and then I ended up loving it. Like Aquaman, I thought was good the first time I saw it, but then when I saw it again, I loved it. So that's an example of a movie that. But I don't know if I've hated a movie and then loved it. No, if I hated a movie, I'll say, all right, maybe it was okay on the second viewing, but I don't think I've ever loved it. Yeah, I can't give you an answer on that. I don't think that exists for me. I think I'll say Aquaman, though. I liked it the first time I saw it, but I wasn't crazy about it. I gave it a 7. But that movie eventually got up to a 10 for me, the first Aquaman, for what it was. So, yeah, I would say the first Aquaman is my answer to that. And then I got a quick question from King of the Monsters 2021, who has sent me one more thing. So let me take a look at what that is. Where is it? That's a lot of explosion imagery. You put those together very quickly, King of the Monsters. Like, I'm impressed. Let's add the image into the software, the streaming software I'm using. Let's see. There we go. Okay. The resizing on this software is complete pants. It really, really freaking is. Okay, that's a lot of explosions right there. Make it a bit bigger. So crap resizing on this software. Okay. Alright, then. This is what he says. Best nuclear explosion in a movie. Terminator 3, Indiana Jones 4, Avengers 1, The Dark Knight Rises, Wolverine, Godzilla 2014, Terminator 5, Rogue One, Godzilla 2, The Creator, Oppenheimer, and Godzilla. I would say... yeah, there were a lot of great ones. Oh, I'm looking at all of them. I like a lot of these. I'm going to say the Godzilla -1 one, because we actually saw a lot of the damage that the explosion did, that the nuclear explosion did, and it was great to look at. There was a lot of great effects in there. It looked practical and CG, so I'd say that one, if I had to pick. So, yeah, buddy, that's the one I would say is the best nuclear explosion in the movie. So, thank you very much for the donations to all of you. Thank you very much for joining me on these streams. I always enjoy doing these streams with you guys. And, yeah, this was a lot of fun. So, yes, King of the Monster, time for bed for me. It is. It's approaching 2. And funny enough, when you do a stream for so long, eventually you just don't feel like sleeping. So, I don't know, maybe I'll go drink some water. I don't know, maybe I'll do a bit more editing. Maybe I'll just chill. I don't know. Big Bash, I'm surprised you want them to hold me as hostage for longer. I need... missed your super chat. Oh, time shot, I didn't even notice you did another one. I thought that was the previous one. Oh, I'm sorry, bud. I'll quickly read that. Let me quickly read that. Let's see, it's a £2 one. Let's, do that quickly. A film you used to hate, but eventually... No, I've already read that. Well, here it is. One film you wish you could go back and see in cinema. Oh, The Dark Knight. Easily. I would say The Dark Knight is one that I would really, really like to see. So yeah, The Dark Knight. I'm sure there's another movie on that list, but right now it's just The Dark Knight, which I'm going to say. So yeah. Yeah, that is basically it then. So I'm gonna head on out. Thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate your kindness. And Time Shadow, you are still at it Did you ever used to play Spider-Man movie tie-in game? Yes, I did. Spider-Man. I wanted to try when I was younger. I couldn't play any of them because I didn't have the consoles. But as I got older, I did try to install them on PC when I could, or play them on my Steam Deck or whatever. So yes, I used to try to play Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3. The first console I got, the proper console, was the Nintendo DS, and I used to play Spider-Man 3 on it. And then there was the Game Boy Advance Spider-Man 3, and then I got the PSP Spider-Man 3 eventually. So yeah, then I got the PC Spider-Man 3 eventually. So yeah, I used to always go for those Spider-Man movie-based games back in the day, and those were a completely different time, I remember. Much more different to what we have now with the Insomniac Spider-Man games. Okay then, so I think I've got everything. So that should basically be it. So, yep, as always, everyone, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate your donations, your kindness, everything. And now I'm going to go head out, and Khan says, will you get a job soon? So the Dark Lord, as I am unable... Oh, you're talking to the Dark Lord there. Where is the other one? The Dark Lord says, I'm waiting for when Eric is flat out losing it at how long Time Shadow is holding him here. And one of you said you had a job interview tomorrow? Khan says, you're really doing it this time, Shadow, aren't you? You're really doing it. Okay then, let's read that $5 one, that £5 one that you've done, Time Shadow. Let's see here. Do you think that a horror film where the monsters win and the main characters actually do die could work? Where the horror film where the horror creature or whatever it is wins, the horror supernatural force wins, and the main characters die? Yeah, it can work, but most of the time it's done very lazily, and ultimately you don't want to spend the whole movie watching these characters survive only to die at the very, very end, at the last second, with some stupid twist. That's not what you want. So yeah, it can work, but I think most of the time it doesn't work, buddy. That's my thoughts and opinions on it. So yeah, that's my answer to that. Thank you again very much. I really, like I said, I always appreciate the support and the kindness from all of you, and I've had an absolutely wonderful time. I was more tired this stream. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I was a lot more tired today. But I still wanted to stick around and do the stream for you guys as was promised. So thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I guess I'll catch all of you in next week's live stream. Thank you very much for watching and for supporting me on the channel and for doing all these donations. And I'll catch all of you very soon. And thank you for your £1 donation there, Time Shadow. You've kept me on here for a few extra seconds, but with no question to ask, I can't really answer anything there. So thank you, and I'll catch all of you very soon. Take care.